This prisoner that was deep.
But they can't have it, because there's only one God. Can I get a witness? Who came? Who else died for you? Who paid the price for you? There's only one. Bridge. There's no one like you. Make some noise, y'all.
That's why I just wanna be where you are.
23 minutes past 6.
Travel life with you no matter how far.
Kirk Franklin, there's only one God. 20th June 2023. Your favorite radio station in the mornings is Citi FM.
You will be.
It's the third week of our business festival. All right, get into the groove of the day. The great gospel starts to the morning. Business sense starts in the show. ADB, the People's Bank, truly agree and more. A personal loan to resolve your financial challenges. We're offering a variety of personal loans, including top-ups, at significantly reduced rates. You can also open or enjoy a longer tenure of up to 6 years. This offer is open to non-customers as well. Call 0302210210. ADB, truly agree and more. This morning, business sense. Get wisdom. Get wisdom. It means you're not born with it. You have to get it. It's beyond. You have to get it. It says wisdom is the principal thing. So get it. Now, what is wisdom? I have two definitions for wisdom. Wisdom is applying God's law in the right way. Applying law in the right way. It's also the correct application of knowledge. So don't just get knowledge, get wisdom. Now, so wisdom is a step ahead of knowledge. The power word in that definition is application. Wisdom is the correct application. So it's not the accumulation of knowledge, it's the application of knowledge. So we are very good at accumulating facts, figures. But trust me, that doesn't make you wise. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn. So there are two things I do to stay wise. I am willing to learn, but I'm also committed to apply. I'm willing to learn. So it's not about how much information you have. It's about how quickly you apply what you know. So how do I apply the wisdom I've gained in relevant areas of my life? That's the question for wisdom. So the question is, what have you applied today? It's not just what have you learned today. What have you applied? Because it's only in the application that you actually demonstrate wisdom.
You will be. That's why.
Which is why in secondary school, when we did differentiation, there was a segment called applications. Applications. When you do calculus, applications are important. Apply, you don't just learn. 26 minutes past 6. It's a power morning on your favorite relevant radio partner. We're talking about retail markets this morning. Yesterday, Michael Cotto set us on the pathway. Today, Michael Harry-Yamson is continuing from where we left off yesterday. There's a big panel discussion at 11 on Citi TV, hosted by Vivian Kailoko. Tune in. Let's learn something new. Newspaper reviews, where we start off from. Richard Sky and Godfred Akotobuafu join me right after this.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Meet Mr. Ansah. He prefers to receive money from his friends and loved ones through the Agricultural Development Bank's remittance services, and his reason is simple.
Oh, for me, my brother lives overseas and he often sends me money. I can access it at any ADB branch nationwide, and what he sends is exactly what I receive. No wahala.
Is that why you prefer ADB's remittance services?
Of course. Well, whether it is Western Union, MoneyGram, ZPay Instant Money, Unity Link, Real Money Transfer, or Transfast, receiving my money through ADB's remittance services is guaranteed. And with some of these services, you can receive the money directly into your ADB account. Do you know what the best part is?
Share with us.
I can receive it at any ADB branch or selected branches on Saturdays and holidays. So, my brother, you see, if you go somewhere else and you don't receive payment on time, all I can say is,
Visit any of ADB's 87 networked branches nationwide, whether you are a customer or not, for the best in remittance services. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
All right. Ooh, yeah. Well, oh yeah. Here we go, y'all. Sing a little message out to those of y'all who feel like you're struggling. Yeah, it's a simple song. Yeah. Yesterday, a man stared to me.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Here's my secret. When I wanna cry, I take a look around and I see that I'm getting by, and I hold on. Hold on. Change is coming. Change is coming. Hold on. Hold on. Don't you worry. Whatever you want to do, but if it don't work out, here's what you ought to do. Now just hold on. Hold on. Change is coming. Change is coming. Hold on. Hold on. Don't worry. Hold on. Hold on. You can make it. Now hold on. Hold on. Everything is gonna be all right. When the troubles
We're getting into the newspaper review brought to us by Total Energies Marketing Ghana PLC, offering you a new formula. It's called the Quartz Engine Oil. Get it to optimize the performance of your vehicle's engine, improve the protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%. Choose Quartz from Total Energies and keep your engine younger for longer. We're also sponsored by Fidelity Bank. The Ejapa account is here to help you enjoy convenient payment and cash collections, access to competitively priced loans, a dedicated relationship officer, and free inter-account transfer, as well as free insurance cover of up to 48,000 cedis. It's an interest-bearing current account available to both registered and sole proprietors trading in their personal name. Dial *776*0#. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. So that is the sound. Those are the sounds of blackness. Those are the sounds of blackness. God, hold on. It's a good song, Sky. Hold on. Change is coming.
Yeah, change is coming.
Yeah.
Change is coming.
Yeah, in great ways. Let's get into the headlines.
The Chronicle says this morning, rating agencies have been reckless in shutting Ghana out of the capital market. Akufo-Addo, well, I mean, with the greatest respect to the president, I think they've done us a great service.
Please,
just
read. I have not invited. Just read the headlines first. I have not invited you today. I haven't invited you here today.
Ekuvi honest Odifo Achin the sixth. Others with befitting what do you call it? Funeral.
Or therefore.
Is or therefore.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Or therefore. Okay. Now I have laid a solid foundation in agriculture, according to your good friend, the free year Kutu.
Why do you keep allocating the money to me?
Why are you rejecting me?
I'm neither.
He's my friend.
I'm just in the way you keep allocating him to me.
Why should we not allocate him to you?
Because we don't know the result of the election.
Argue.
Because if at the end of the day he gets some pencil, I'll ask you, your man has got. It's just I interview everybody. I have not chosen sides in this matter. So please,
I have not chosen sides.
Stop allotting me.
We have given him to you
a portion in the manner.
Very well. He's my friend.
He's our friend. Front page of the Daily Graphic, Bernard. Developing African economies build strong financial institutions. President Akufo-Addo. Chip embedded passports coming. This according to the director of passport, Al-Haji Mohammed Habib Idris. And this one, Bernard, 6,481 failed teacher licensure exam. And if I tell you the total number of teachers who sat for the exam and you look at this number, 7,000 and something.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How many failed?
6,481.
This is even more scandalous than law school.
Are you serious about it?
I'll give you
the
numbers
numbers
later.
don't add up.
7,000 teachers wrote licensure
6,000
exams
failed.
and 6,000 failed.
Yes.
So what moral authority do they have in failing students?
7,728 sat for it.
And 6,000.
6,481. Yes.
So only 1,500.
Yes, it's a 16% pass rate.
Are you serious?
That's very scandalous.
That is most.
Let's find their teachers. The final says this morning, $6 billion bank inadequate to finance growth. I don't know why $6 billion bank inadequate to finance growth.
$6 billion bank.
Okay, so it's $6 billion bank. The bank is $6 billion in size, right?
Yeah.
Okay, President Akufo-Addo rally support for the free.
So the value of the bank
is $6 billion.
Yes, so we need a bigger bank.
Okay.
To finance our growth.
Okay. And then also, Boache Jacko files form once aspirants violating rules punished. And then Dr. Akoto files form and is calling for unity of the party.
The Anchor newspaper drops with Yvonne Nelson. She's the biggest news in the country this morning.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
In the whole country?
Oh, yes. Yvonne Nelson drops bombshell, reveals abortion secrets with Sarkodie, DNA test with Peter Ala Ajete's kids. The president is also on the front page of the paper. Reckless behavior of rating agencies cost Ghana. Okay. The basic education is collapsing. A pack, not weep. And in the Anyasotum constituency, failed MP aspirant drags NDC chairman to Nogoko Shrine.
The business newspapers. Okay, I go to the graphic business. The big story on the front page says Ghana's IMF program implementation, businesses and households to feel the heat. Apparently, it comes with, okay, this is the photograph of Dr. Godfred A. Bokping, a lecturer at the University of Ghana. And then speakers are quoted here saying graphic business strategic bank breakfast meeting, something on what they'll be talking about or what they've been talking about. And then also the World Bank June food security update. The headlines are very mundane this morning, apart from...
As in, it's incomplete?
Yeah, like some way. I think if it's a headline, some way it should...
Okay.
Please take something.
Front page of the Daily Guide, AG rejects Ato forcing payment plan. MPP's Akoto pulls billboard crowd. And it's a photo of Dr. Usefri Akoto and some of his supporters who are holding their placards. Yvonne Nelson is on the front page of the Daily Guide as well.
All right, let me take you online, citynewsroom.com. The president is on the front page of the website. Reckless behavior of rating agencies worsen Ghana's economic woes. The president says this. NDC says government is trying to influence court in Jachi Kweson's case. Meanwhile, Baumia says, I am the presidential aspirant Mahama and NDC fear. This is in relation to election 2024. And then assault on referee, barbaric and inhumane. GFA head of referees. This is a really sad story of a Division 2B Women's League, 1B Women's League, and a football team owner, coach assaulting a referee. If you go to My Joy Online, there are a couple of stories there for your attention. They are leading with Ashanti Regional Minister, fathers owe it to their children to advise them to abstain from galamsey. They also have a couple of stories around an astroturf in Sunyani East. It's their news feeds with different stories coming onto that particular one. Let me take you to a few other places. If you go to the BBC, the stories there from the African continent, Uganda school attack is still the big story. It's a big, big story. We are told that I covered myself in blood to hide. It's what a young man is saying. And then there are 3 people who've been arrested in that country after the deadly school attack. And then there's a question here. What did African leaders Ukraine mission achieve? It's a very, very big question on the front page. Ghana Weekend is leading with the Yvonne Nelson story. DNA test confirms Yvonne Nelson is the daughter of late Peter Alajete, according to the
that's
story.
not what the book said.
Okay,
Who wrote that?
that's what I'm seeing here.
That's not
Also,
what the book
Shatawale mocks Sarkodie.
They should delete that.
Okay, over Yvonne Nelson allegations. That one is true, right?
So yes, Satawale is misbehaving on Twitter.
So that story is really trending. And there's also talking about her relationship, her friendship with people like Dumelo and how it trumped political ambitions and things like this. So you're saying that headline is not correct?
It's incorrect. Because ultimately, I read a book, and the suggestion is that apparently it turned out that he wasn't the dad. So she's still searching for
her father. Yes.
So
whoever
wrote that,
do that in there. Nigeria's Tinubu names Nuhu Ribadu to oversee security agencies. That's Bloomberg's lead story on their Africa website. So, you know Malam Nuhu Ribadu?
Yes.
Former EFCC boss is now going to oversee security agencies.
I must admit, the first raft of appointments that Tinubu has made, some very, very strong names.
We hope he keeps the momentum.
Yeah.
is he making the appointments?
Yes.
If you look at the first list of advisors...
No, he's asking a question. What do you mean is he making the appointment? What is he doing?
Questions. You are now trying to...
All right, let me take you on to Class FM. Akufo-Addo on 6-day working visit to Spain, France, and UK as well. So he's out of town to visit those countries. Let's get the details.
Okay, so this story about the reckless, or what do you want?
I'll just start with the teachers.
Okay.
Oh, really? No, let's start with the president at AFDB. Yes, the teachers have failed. I mean,
okay,
we've all failed before. We've all failed before.
You get 0.
Yes.
Page 3 of the Chronicle has the details of the story on the front page. Mark Solofori says the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has lashed out at financial rating agencies for their reckless pro-cyclical downgrades, which resulted in Ghana being blacklisted from the international capital market. There's a quote here that says that I can comfortably and convincingly say this as the AU champion for African financial institutions and leader of a country that recently had to deal with one of the most difficult periods in its post-independent history. Difficulties that were exacerbated by the reckless behavior of rating agencies that engaged in pro-cyclical downgrades, shutting Ghana out of the capital market and turning a liquidity crisis into a solvency crisis, he said. Now, delivering the keynote address at the opening of the 30th annual meeting of the Africa Export and Exim Bank in Accra yesterday, Nana Akufo-Addo had a contrary observation of the exercise that was undertaken by the rating agencies. He, however, noted the timely support offered by the Afri-Exim Bank under its counter-cyclical response mechanism, which helped Ghana navigate.
I want you to stay with that story. There's another story read about 6 billion bank, not enough. I think that's also important. Yeah. The Afri-Exim Bank needs more capitalization, and I think that's what the president was trying to say.
Okay, that story is on page 8 of the Finder. Isaac Edu and Selom Bobiji, writing from Accra, say that President Akufo-Addo has rallied African governments to capitalize African Export-Import Bank well beyond its existing $6 billion. Exactly. Now, the current $6 billion capital of the bank is, according to the president, far from sufficient to catalyze the creation of a market on a continent whose combined gross domestic product is around 3.
Think about it. Ghana's deal with the IMF is 3 billion, and all 54 African countries, this Exim Bank is only 6 billion. We are getting 6 billion in the next 3 years from our multilateral partners and bilateral partners. So it's a very small bank. I actually hope the president also discuss the issue of an Africa-centered rating agency, or at least a rating agency from the global south. So beyond, you see, if you criticize the existing global rating agencies for being reckless, then your hand should be on a stone to say, look, whether it's India or China or parts of South America or other African countries, we should be putting money together to equip new rating agencies. Because the view is that these rating agencies, they think in a certain way.
But the question is, where are the funds?
That's the whole story.
Yeah,
so the whole thing is the money issue.
Well, the president is also saying that we need to build strong financial institutions. He said that the reliance on foreign capital is risky and costly.
Very true.
Yes, he said.
Very true.
He also spoke about something called PAPS. Now, what PAPS is the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, which was being implemented, and it will save the continent $5 billion in intra-African transfers, expedite and enable payments for intra-African trade in African currencies. With PAPS, it is now possible for a Gambian to buy Nigerian urea fertilizers using Gambian dalasi to purchase naira, for a young Ghanaian to pay for holidays in Seychelles in Ghana cities, and for a small farmer in rural Zambia to stream her favorite Nollywood movie paying in Zambian kwacha.
Yeah, but there's a catch. Okay, well, maybe later
we'll discuss it. It's a big story.
I criticized it in my
we'll discuss it later.
Yes.
Well, now let's go to the teachers.
Yes. So on page 20,
7,700
on
teachers.
page 20 of the Daily Graphic, out of Severus Caladeri, good morning, he wrote the story. Out of 7,728 prospective teachers who sat again for the Ghana Teacher Licensure examination last month, 1,277 passed. The figure represents 16% of the candidates who sat again for the examination, introduced to licensed teaching practitioners. A pre-release interview with the registrar of GTLE, Dr. Christina Depoku, indicated that all the candidates had sat for the exam at least twice, with some sitting as many as 9 times. The results of the examination, which was written last month, will be released at noon today. Dr. Depoku, who expressed concern about the high failure rate, explained that those affected had one more chance to write the exam at the latter part of the year before its format and content changed. He told the Daily Graphic that those who would fail again will have to go for the revised GTLE, known as the subject-based GTLE, which will take off later this year.
But so what happens to if you're a teacher who fails the exam? What happens?
I think it means you don't have the license.
So you can't teach again.
You know, when this teacher licensure thing was initiated, there was a lot of criticism, but I think it makes a lot of sense because in a profession like that, there should be a minimum standard. And I think this is very good. So if you are like a school hiring a teacher, you can ask for a teacher license.
So why is it written annually or what?
I don't know. And I know a lot of people are traveling outside to do nursing and teaching and things. You need that license to go. Yeah. So I think they just have to up their game, you know.
Okay, I think we should look into that. It's
like when people fail law exams, we say they should go and learn harder. So the teachers also go and learn harder. Yeah, let's do politics.
Before politics, though, Bernard, I beg you. There's a story on page 2 of the Finder that says Union calls for investigations into missing $2.5 million crude condensate. This thing is coming up.
Is it Thor?
I'm telling you, Charlie. The story says that the General Transport Petroleum Chemical Workers Union, the mother union of the Tema oil refinery workers, has called for an investigation into circumstances leading to the missing of crude condensate worth $2.5 million at the refinery. How can oil just wake up and live like that? Now, Mr. Bernard Owusu, national chairman of the body, in an interview with the Ghana News Agency in Tema, stressed the need for a thorough investigation into the matter as they were waiting to hear the outcome of an inquiry into the incident. Now, Mr. Owusu revealed that through their call, the State Interest and Governance Authority, which is SIGA, referred the matter to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, to conduct investigations. Now, it could be recalled that in April 2023, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the Minister for Energy, disclosed that crude condensate worth $2.5 million had gone missing from the country's only refinery. The minister revealed these following calls from the union for the government to revamp the ailing refinery for Ghana to derive economic benefit from it. In Ghana, things just go missing like that. A whole vehicle can
Before
go
we
missing.
do the politics, you give me a summary of the Yvonne Nelson stories. I think you read the Anchor and the Daily Guide.
Yes, so on page 8 of the Daily Guide.
Yeah, but I would advise in doing the story,
Yes.
we should not mention names.
Oh,
Just
As a legal.
That's
a memoir.
Yes,
We will mention
I
names.
wish we had. Yes.
But a memoir, how would the story work without the names? So it was Asim something.
I'm just giving you what, in my professional legal opinion, is the direction to work in. Respectfully. You can
then I might as well not review the story. I bought us Accreditation baby. I take responsibility for mentioning the name. Yvonne Nelson. Celebrated actress Yvonne Nelson's latest memoir, titled I Am Not Yvonne Nelson, is causing a huge stir following its revelation. The book was launched on Sunday at the Pedrassi Valley Resort at the Brie. Among the revelations is an allegation that Yvonne Nelson terminated a pregnancy because the man who put her in that situation refused to accept responsibility on the basis that he had another girlfriend. The man in question, according to Yvonne Nelson, was a rapper based in Tema, and this incident was in 2010. And there are quotes from that. There are other parts of the book that are copiously quoted here.
I think the two things I've heard are about how apparently her mother gave her false information about who her real father was.
Yes.
And she had sort of accused the man of abandoning her until later on it was found out that this wasn't actually her real father.
Yes, and also then the background to the Doomsday Vigil, and what happened after that.
How big is the book? You say you read the book. How big is this guy? How many pages is the book?
It's about 140 something.
So it's quite a quick read.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can go through.
Just what is it about?
Her life.
Okay, so I would, like I said, my position.
No, you tell me about the book. I don't.
So basically,
I'm willing to tell you.
The crux of the story is that this is a devastated, woman, and it all started with an innocuous question, which will prove very expensive later, by a teacher in school, who had apparently called her together with a person you call her sister, right? And asked the question whether the two of them
are actually
were from
related.
the same father.
That's where the whole saga began.
So it dovetails.
It's almost like In Search of My Father.
Exactly.
Type of book.
It's a very heartbreaking book if you read it.
So you don't think the way people are treating it on social media is right?
No, you see, the reason I am concerned is that look, when you write a book, it comes with certain responsibilities. Those responsibilities are legal in nature.
Yes, sir.
Because if you damage a person's name or image or reputation, the person is entitled. Exactly.
Even whether they are dead or alive.
So we all know what happened in the US when even couples, what's the name of the young woman? Amber Heard. It was Amber Heard. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, look, you can make a comment on a book. But in making I've seen.
So I'm talking about those commenting on the book, not the author herself.
Yes, because it's a one-sided story with the greatest respect.
So you need to check from the other side.
Exactly.
Okay.
And people and a journalist too. Just because someone has gone to write a book doesn't mean that you are at liberty to
also
publish it.
To yourself.
Because the person who will sue, if he's minded to, will come for you. He may decide to.
In fact, you spent 5 years studying this, so I'll take your word for it. Okay, you are boss. Let me go to politics. You are my boss in this area. Charlie, let me start with Bawumia. So there's so many stories. So there's a couple of stories. Apreku submitted his forms and then he resubmitted because of some issues.
Oh, okay.
The former Greek minister has also filed, and then he's called for party unity. Dr. Bawumia has been campaigning. And he says it's the presidential aspirant Mahama and NDC fear. Then Mahama has also been campaigning and he's been talking about the Jachikwesin matter. So there's a lot. Maybe you could just give us a quick summary.
Okay, so on the MPP side, the Daily Guide is reporting that Dr. Usefri Akutu pulled what it describes as a billboard crowd.
Okay.
And why are they doing that?
Well, according to...
and what do they mean by that?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. According to the story by Ernest Edu Kofi, Dr. Usefri justified the small strong that accompanied him to file his nomination papers, claiming that he only garnered a dedicated crowd of believers in his bid. He says, let me say here that everybody who has come here, including representatives of farmers, are here on their own accord. You cannot see any vast crowd or any big commercial vehicle bringing people to come here and support me. People have come on their own volition and conviction that my candidature will be good for the people of Ghana.
Kofi Konadu has resubmitted his nomination forms, and he initially submitted the forms. Some of the documents were not complete. He had to go back, and he did the right thing. Then Bawumia has been campaigning in Tema West, and he says that he is the candidate and Mahama and NDC fear. He says he will beat the flag bearer of the NDC in the 2024 elections if the MPP elects him as presidential candidate. And then let me take you to Watie Jako.
Yeah, that's right. That story is on page 9 of the Ghanaian The Finder newspaper. And the story says flag bearer hopeful of the New Patriotic Party, Watie Jako, has urged the party to take action against candidates in the flag bearership race who are disregarding the election rules. Now, he emphasized the importance of upholding the rules and regulations for a fair and transparent electoral process. Jako, a former energy minister, made the appeal at the party's headquarters at Asylum Down in Accra when he filed his nomination.
So I think by close of tomorrow, if not today, the nominations will be over. I think the field has about 10 or 11. I'm not sure if the Opon guy has filed, because there's an Opon guy on the billboard. We haven't reported him filing, but at least 10 of them have filed. So the field is looking very, very big indeed.
Okay, let me give you 2 quick stories from the back page of the Daily Graphic. Major road updates.
Okay.
You like your roads. The Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwesiamu Akwanta, has expressed satisfaction with the progress of work on 2 road projects being undertaken to address vehicular congestion in parts of Accra. So the projects are the School Junction, Bottom and Motorway Road project, which is 70% complete. And the flyover on the Accra. And the flyover
repeat the road again. The projects are the what?
The School Junction, Bottom and Motorway Road project. They say 70% complete. Who said people said the last time they told us it was
my brother, read the news.
Do you remember? Hold on. Do you remember the Super Stadium? We told us it was 90%.
We have brought.
They're about to raise it now.
Give me the second road.
Okay, the second one is the and the flyover on the Accra Tema Motorway from Flower Pot roundabout to East Legon. That's 54%. So it says this thing will be well done and then maintained. And then very, very sad story from Wale Bernard. An attempt by an 80-year-old woman, Tuna Bawuni, to stop a fight between her son and his wife has resulted in her untimely death at Guabulga in the West Mampresi municipality in the northeast region. In a fit of anger, the son, Haruna Wuni, was said to have rushed into his room for a single barrel gun and shot his mother dead.
Still on tragedies, coach arrested for attacking a referee during Division 1B match. CityNewsroom.com. Police have arrested Napari Suheru, a football coach, for assaulting a referee during a Division 1B football match near the Ali Muhammad Stadium on June 17. Following the attack, the injured referee was promptly taken to the hospital for medical treatment. The suspect is currently in police custody and will be brought before the court to face justice for his actions. In the ongoing investigation by the police, Inspector General Dr. Kufu Dampare has held discussions with Eketu Kreku, President of the GFA, and Professor Peter Chumesi, Director General of the National Sports Authority. During the meeting, the IGP urged them to inform the police in advance about all football matches in the lower leagues, just as they do for the Premier League. And I think it's very important. This proactive notification will allow the police to implement appropriate measures to ensure security, law, and order during all these games.
And just a story that I'm personally also interested in. You remember the kid who won us our bronze medal at the Olympics? Techi. Yes. Now, Joshua Clottey says he should be very, very careful.
Why?
Because he says indiscipline and arrogance could jeopardize his career.
Is he professional or is still doing
He's now
amateur?
Professional. And I'm reading this because I've also heard these reports. In fact, last week.
So who is managing him?
He's managing. He used to be with Ikote, but it looks like that relationship has been
because
fractured.
to win a bronze for us at the Olympics, there's potential there. So maybe
now, just a few quotes. When asked about his current situation, Clottey expressed his concern over the declining trajectory of the young boxer's career, attributing this to Chichi's inflated ego, and a lifestyle that mirrors that of a successful fighter. Like I said, I've heard this report.
Let's go to Nigeria. Now, I'm going to give you 2 stories. Nigeria's Tinubu names Nuhu Ribadu to oversee security agencies. New heads of Army, Navy, Air Force, and Police also appointed. Mind
Everybody
you,
on retirement.
it's the same political party.
Yes.
So it's president handing over to somebody in his own party. But President Bola Tinubu has named new security chiefs to replace those he inherited from former President Muhammadu Buhari as he continues to put together a team to implement pledges made during the campaign. Now, Nuhu Ribadu is a respected former chairman of the country's anti-corruption agency. He'll be National Security Advisor. Ribadu, who last week was named Special Advisor on Security, will now take up a more senior role as coordinator of the country's security agencies. New heads were also appointed for the Army, Navy, Air Force, and the police. He's just been 15 days in office. And there's already markets responding positively to some of his decisions. We hope it continues in that way. For example, he's dissolved boards of parastatals and agencies, and there's actually a full list. If you go to Channels TV, there's a full list of his new appointments, which I think are interesting for those who follow Nigeria's politics. He looks like he wants to do things in a new way. Yeah. Let's hope he's active.
In fact, there's a positive article written on page 19 of the graphic business. It says Nigeria's new revenue sources. It's by Charlie Robertson. He's the head of macro strategy at Fame Partners.
Charlie, he has cleared everybody. Charlie, he has everybody.
And here's the conclusion. I think if you're interested in Nigeria, you should read that. It says this is an additional positive for Nigeria, combined with the fuel subsidy removal and the likely change of FX policy. Rating agencies will now have 3 reasons to be more.
But the problem there is that, you see, in Africa, we need to balance between institutions that last. So this is the same political party. He's changing everybody. He's trying to even prosecute the governor. So it tells you that it's almost like Buhari's people are all Buhari's people.
Yeah, these are my people.
And it shouldn't be that way, because I'm not saying you shouldn't change people, but there are some positions that you need continuity.
But if the people are bad,
that's my point. So is he saying that did he ever say that when he was in the party that they were bad?
Well, he didn't say that.
That's my point. You see,
he didn't say it.
But you don't need to change everybody.
When they put you in charge, you take charge.
Yeah, but is it best practice?
It's best practice.
It's not.
Sky,
the democracy
Sky,
there are some positions like governor of the central bank and things that we have to protect. And I'm saying this generally. The president said at Afri-Exim Bank, we should build strong institutions. Now, you don't build strong institutions by administration bringing everybody and administration going with everybody.
No, I understand the general.
There are some institutions that must overlap administrations for continuity's sake. So we can't be saying that we support what the president is saying and at the same time be applauding what do you call it? For clearing everybody.
Well, I don't know about everybody. I know.
He has cleared everybody. Many.
You know, your papa see that, and it's rickety car. Hey, papa, Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
You've started your small business and have all these big dreams, but then reality strikes and there are so many things to do at once. What you need is the Ejapa account from Fidelity Bank. The Ejapa account gives your business a boost. It comes with a range of payment and cash collection options, such as GHQR, mobile money collection, and mobile teller cash collection. You will also enjoy prompt FX supply, competitive interest rate on loans, and free annual insurance cover of up to 48,000 Ghana cedis for your business, plus a waiver on service fees. It's time to do good business with Fidelity Bank.
Dial *776*0# or visit www.fidelitybank.com.gh to sign up for a Fidelity Ejapa account today, because together we are more. Terms and conditions apply.
Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
City Business News brought to you by MTN and Goyle. Now to 4 buttons here with the news. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and good morning to you out there. Welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, hiking utility tariffs and recently introduced taxes expected to push Ghana's inflation up over the next 2 months. And the government urged to be intentional about industrialization to drive growth in the country's retail sector. Let's bring you the details of our stories now. Ghana's inflation rate is projected to climb over the next 2 months. That is the recent forecast from IC Research Africa. This is largely due to the unfavorable pricing effect of the 3 new taxes, as well as the recent increase in utility tariffs. The following News Desk report has further details.
After experiencing 4 consecutive months of declining headline inflation, Ghana faced a setback in May 2023. Inflation rose to 42.2%, up from the 41.2% in April. The primary driver of this marginal rise was an increase in food inflation during the period. However, according to IC Africa's Ghana May 2023 inflation report, this trend is expected to continue. IC Research suggests that while the unexpected 1% increase in headline inflation is not surprising, it is concerning. This rise can be attributed to the recent passage of Parliament excise duty and excise tax stamp, income tax and growth and sustainability levies, as well as the 18.4% and 9 to 15% hike in electricity and water tariffs, respectively. The analysis indicates that price pressures are likely to spill over into June 2023, aligning with the conclusion that the near-term outlook is clouded by elevated pricing expectations due to IMF-supported price-sensitive measures. These pressures are expected to persist over the next 2 months as manufacturers and distributors may gradually adjust prices in response to changing market conditions.
That was a News Desk report read by Ni Latte. Let's bring you more on the inflation because economist Dr. Patrick Esume says concerns that inflation will keep rising again are valid.
Yeah, I think there's some merit in it. In particular, the point about the recent adjustment in utility prices. But I think recently, in January and February, the CD appeared to be a lot more stable than we've seen in the last couple of months. When you put that together, and then the taxes that they mentioned, indeed, if there's going to be any inflationary pressures from the taxes, it takes a couple of months for us to see the full pass-through effect on the economy. So it's a possibility that we could see the inflation stay where it is or maybe inch up marginally. But I think it's likely that we might see some moderation coming from maybe the start of the harvest season. So it's not as clear-cut as
Dr. Patrick Esume is an economist. Now, managing partner at Ishmael Yamson and Associates, Michael Harry Yamson, has emphasized the need for government to take seriously its industrialization agenda as part of efforts to drive the growth of the country's retail sector. He says the retailing landscape has changed significantly over the last 2 decades, and more must be done to ensure the space is not overlooked, as it is important to the economic development of Ghana. He spoke on the on-air series of the 2023 Citi Business Festival, which continues this morning with a look at how businesses can survive as the Ghanaian retail market evolves.
Our industrialization really is needing a rethink. I like the idea of wanting to put factories up everywhere. But factories up everywhere in support of what particular sector and what particular type of growth? If you don't answer that question, everybody will build a factory, but where's the raw material coming from? So we have to think very hard about what it is that we want to do around the industrialization. For me, even though the conversation is still about retail, you see, the thing is that if we do industrialization, then our retail sector begins to come of age, because now a business would deal with its retail partners in a more formalized way. So I make shoes in Kumasi, call it an industrial scale, but all the people who pick from me pay cash. There's no database. I don't track how they sell, and I don't track how the consumer accesses my product. All I know is that the goods are moving, and then suddenly the goods are not moving. And nobody really understands what is happening to either hamper or bolster the industrialization drive.
That was the managing partner of Ishmael Yamson and Associates, Michael Harry Yamson. The full conversation on the topic retail and consumer markets airs later this morning at 9 a.m. on the Citi Breakfast Show. Meanwhile, the third forum of the Citi Business Festival 2023 will be held later today on the topic retail and consumer markets. Why not join our panel of experts as they discuss the changing face of the Ghanaian retail market live on Citi TV at 11 a.m. The panel will include the Director of Business Banking at Absa Bank, Grace Enim-Yeboah, Michael Koto, Managing Partner at Confidence, Robert Ahunkalimse, former Deputy Trades Minister, and Michael Harry Yamson, Managing Partner at Ishmael Yamson and Associates. This year's edition of the Citi Business Festival is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM in partnership with ABSA and is proudly sponsored by MTN Momo, MTN Business and ZPay with support from Gesell. Now, as part of moves to strengthen intra-African trade and ensure that goods and services exchanged on the continent meet global standards, the African Export and Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, in collaboration with key stakeholders, is set to establish the African Quality Assurance Centers. The centers, when fully activated, will not only boost trade among African countries, but also enhance the capacities of indigenous producers. This was disclosed by the President and Chairman of the African Export and Import Bank, His Excellency Professor Benedict Urama, at the 30th AGM of the bank here in Accra.
With the African Regional Standards Organization to harmonize trade standards across Africa. Using Afrexim Bank grant funding, over 155 standards have been harmonized, covering priority areas of automobile, medical equipment, and pharmaceuticals, while work on textiles is ongoing. We thank Islamic Bank Group, Islamic Development Bank Group, and Badia for supporting us in providing the grant funding. We also recognize that setting standards is one thing, but having the infrastructure to implement them is another. So working with Bureau Veritas of France, we are building testing, inspection, and certification centers across Africa under the brand name Africa Quality Assurance Centers. The first project has been completed in West Africa, and others are underway in North and East Africa.
That was the President and Chairman of the African Export and Import Bank, His Excellency Professor Benedict Urama. Now, on the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 10 cedis 99 pesos. The British pound gained 6 pesos and is selling at 14 cedis 7 pesos. The euro remained unchanged and is selling at 12 cedis 1 peso. However, at some forex bureaus in the capital, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 80 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 14 cedis 90 pesos. The euro is going for 12 cedis 60 pesos. Let's now join Mark Jordan Sikanate of Data Bank for the latest updates on the bonds market.
Investors' demand for Treasury bills fell below the gross target by 20.4% as the government raised about 3 billion Ghana cedis, with the uptake covering only 84% of the maturing bills. The 91-day yield increased to 21.69%, while the 364-day yield recorded a sharp gain to 28.91%. The secondary bond market was lively in the past week as investors exchanged 439.6 million Ghana cedis across various tenors on the bears. The 6-year new bond maturing on February 2029 drove the market, accounting for 89% of the total volume traded. The Data Bank Bond Index retreated to 75.08 points with a weighted yield to maturity of 14.95%.
That was Mark Jordan Sikanate of Data Bank, and then the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, GOIL, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Many thanks for listening. Do have a good business day.
Doing gets you learning. Learning starts you wondering. Wondering triggers thinking. Thinking becomes planning. Planning evolves to trying. After trying, you're succeeding, winning, owning. Now, Now, doing that starts with outdoing your limits. Outdo them all with MTN. So, what are we doing today?
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Yeah. This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
What else?
11 minutes past 7. City Business News was brought to us by MTN. Great news for small to medium scale business owners. With SME Plus, you can manage all your operational costs in communication. It's a service. It allows you to choose from affordable packages and enjoy talk time, SMS data, and business content, all bundled into one subscription. The other exciting news is that you get free on-net calls every Monday between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Dial star 5060 #, sign up today, call 0244308111 to get more information. And what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop to top up anywhere? Don't do that. Just insist on Gold Super XP on 95, a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. Insist on the Diesel XP, low in sulfur, an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with quality. Goil, yeah, dear. Now we're getting into Kickoff. It's brought to us by Leshehu. Yes, Evans. You know, yesterday I butchered your name. Ofochu.
Yes.
Manso.
Exactly.
Not Ofosu Mancho.
No.
So Ofosu is the name for what's the meaning of Ofochu?
Meaning?
You don't know.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't try. You have to call your family and ask him. Ofochu. Now, for over a decade, Leshehu Savings and Loans has been supporting the investment goals of customers with attractive solutions. We've been a safe haven for depositors who value security as well as competitive returns. Track your fund. We have 182, 365, 91-day deposit products. Get in touch with Leshehu, a safe haven for your investment. Attention to all our trot, taxi, truck, and bus drivers. Buying fuel at Shell just got more rewarding. You can get your health insurance for your family, your car insurance, groceries for home, and so much more. Each time you buy fuel at Shell, you earn points that can be redeemed for any of these incredible offers. So hurry, buy fuel at Shell always. Join the Shell Club and stay ahead of the game. Join the Shell Club today and keep filling up for more benefits. So Evans Ofochu Manso.
Exactly. We'll get there someday. Grateful Bernard Outlet there. Now coming up on Kickoff this morning on Citi 97.3 FM, head of referees at the Ghana Football Association, Alex Korte, wants the arrested coach Idrisu Suheru Napari, who attacked a female referee during a women's football match in Tamale, used as a scapegoat to serve as a deterrent.
What we have asked the region to do is to pursue this matter, make sure that at least we set an example, use this man as an example, to others who would also even want to think of going or maybe performing such act.
We'll get to hear more from the GFA referees manager, Alex Korte. Also, there were wins for France, Ukraine, Turkey, and England in the Euro 2024 qualifiers yesterday.
Mbappe goes again, and this time he scores. Goal number 40 for France, for the magnificent Mbappe. And 10 minutes into the second half, France have found a way through.
It's a magnificent 7 for England. Kane's second of the night. Party time in Manchester.
Yes, magnificent for England, who were in 7th heaven. All this and more here on Kickoff with me, Evans Ofochu Manso. All right, let's get into the details of today's Kickoff, shall we? Now, the Black Meteors will play Egyptian giant Zamalek in a friendly match today at 2 p.m. local time. This will be Ghana's second international friendly in Egypt after last Thursday's draw
against the young Pharaohs. Now, the Black Meteors head coach Ibrahim Tanko is already looking forward to the clash at the Zamalek Sports Complex before his team departs for the Under-23 AFCON in Morocco this month, where qualification for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games will be decided.
Yes, I think we want to give everyone a chance to see, because these are friendly matches that you can assess each of them. So definitely the next game we are going to see another faces, so that we will make a very good selection for the tournament. I think it's a very good experience. Like you said, we missed to go to Japan with one penalty. But I mean, when I look at this squad, and I'm very, very hopeful that we are going to make it this time. So, and when I saw the game today and I saw those who will come and join us, I think this time we are going to make it.
So that's the head coach of the Black Meteors, Ibrahim Tanko, speaking ahead of today's friendly game against Zamalek. Now, let's move away from that to other stories. And head of referees at the Ghana Football Association, Alex Kote, wants the arrested coach Idrisu Suheru Napari, also known as Coach Kubli, who attacked a female referee during a women's football match in Tamale, used as a scapegoat to serve as a deterrent. Now, Coach Kubli, he violently invaded the pitch and attacked referee Abdul Rahman Sakina Nasara on Saturday, June 17, to abruptly end the match involving his club, that's the Tiyumbu Ladies FC and Soccer Missionaries Ladies. Now, the football coach, we understand, is facing prosecution for his actions and is already in custody at the Northern Regional Police Headquarters after being on the run.
Going forward, what we have asked the region to do is to pursue this matter, make sure that at least we set an example, we use this man as an example to others who would also even want to think of going or maybe performing such acts. And so we are on the ground, and we are urging the Regional Football Association to ensure that this man is brought to book, at least if some jail sentence is passed. And for this one, we wish to plead that people should not intervene. I mean, they should let the processes and the law enforcement agencies work. I mean, that is the only thing, or that's the only way we can bring some sanity into our game.
That's the head of referees at the Ghana Football Association, Alex Kote, speaking to Umaru Sanda on the Eyewitness News. Now, away from that, Director General of the National Sports Authority, Professor Peter Chumesi, has praised the Ghana Basketball Association for successfully winning the opportunity to host the FIBA Africa Under-16 Zone 3 qualifiers. He expressed his appreciation during a press conference held to establish the local organizing committee for the upcoming tournaments, and that tournament will take place from June 22 to 24 at Eden Heights in Accra.
We will wish that, for example, NHIS being part of the qualifiers, all the matches we went to AFCON, we went to the qualifiers for World Cup, and so on. Now, at least there's something released in the FIFA release to Ghana about that 9 million or so. We are hoping that probably we'll be able to also attract about maybe say 2 million of that money, be able to also to help with the continuous management of the facility. Since we have allocated almost about 99% of all the time for sporting activities, and it's not really generating so much. That would be some of these interventions also help for us to improve upon our economic situation.
All right, so that's Professor Peter Chumesi. He's the Director General for the National Sports Authority. Now, Mr. Ato Vanes is the President of the Ghana Basketball Association, and he's determined that Ghana will host and win the upcoming FIBA Africa Under-16 Zone 3 qualifiers. We understand countries like Nigeria and La Côte d'Ivoire will participate in the tournament, which aims to secure qualification spot for the Continental Championship.
We are hosting teams from Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and for both males and females. For the male, we have Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and Ghana. And for the females, we have for the females, we have Nigeria and Ghana. And we are going to have exciting times at the Eden Heights. All the other publications, we want to thank you very much. And as we invite the minister, DG, and the general corporate to this tournament, we know that Team Ghana will make Ghana will host and win.
All right, so that's the president of the Ghana Basketball Association, Ato Van Es, speaking to City Sports there. Now, let's move away from the local scene and talk about some transfer stories this morning. And we start with this one where Fenerbahce are working on the final details of a deal for Inter Milan striker Edin Dzeko. The Bosnian will join the Turkish club as a free agent. That's what we understand. And also Inter Milan's Marko Brozovic is now the target of Saudi clubs as an option for the midfield. And that's alongside Saul Niguez of Atletico Madrid. So these are the two options for the Saudi clubs now. And there are no talks between Inter Milan and Chelsea for Argentine striker Lautaro Martinez. This was confirmed by Inter Milan Vice President Javier Zanetti. And in the USA, Inter Miami are discussing the final details of the contract with Sergio Busquets. We understand Jordi Alba also remains in negotiations with Inter Miami. And Steven Gerrard has announced that he will not accept an opportunity to become a manager in the Saudi Pro League. The 43-year-old, who previously managed Rangers, has been without a job since he was dismissed by Aston Villa in October. And earlier this month, Gerrard was seen in Saudi Arabia, and it was reported that he has received offers from Al Ittifaq, but he says no way he's not going to Saudi Arabia. Now let's move to the Euro 2024 qualifiers. And yesterday, France were 1-0 winners over Greece. Kylian Mbappe scoring for the French team there. Ukraine beat Malta by 1-0 as well. Switzerland ended up 2-2 against Romania, and Wales's Euro qualifiers took another major hit as Turkey ran out 2-0 winners in a game that saw a red card, a missed penalty, and 2 more goals ruled out by the VAR. Bukayo Saka, well, he scored a hat-trick. Harry Kane scored a brace. Marcus Rashford and Calvin Phillips were also on target as England signed off the season in style with a 7-0 thrashing of North Macedonia, which maintains their 100% record and top spot in Group C of the qualifiers there. Now, England midfielder Phil Foden has been reflecting on a triumphant victory against North Macedonia in the qualifiers.
Did brilliant today. The aim was go into the game and try and finish the season on a high, and I thought we dominated from minute one and controlled the full game.
Obviously, Bukayo Saka will steal the headlines, but there were so many great individual performances. Just how good is he?
Oh, he's amazing, unbelievable talent. And the thing is, I think he can keep getting even better. So, yeah, it's a great talent to have, and hopefully he's one for the future.
What were the lads saying to him in the dressing room afterwards?
I think they were just saying what a goal that volley was. Unbelievable strike, yeah.
All right, so that's Phil Foden. He plays for England. Now, today in the qualifiers across Europe, Austria face Sweden, Bulgaria will be up against Serbia, Estonia will take on Belgium, Iceland face Portugal. A game that Cristiano Ronaldo, if he plays, that would be a huge milestone for him as well. Moldova will face Poland, Scotland up against Georgia. Selected games to look forward to in the Euro 2024 qualifiers. So let's wrap up with tennis now. And Venus Williams, who had been sidelined for 6 months due to a hamstring injury, achieved her first victory over a top 50 player in almost 4 years in a thrilling match at the Rothsay Classic in Birmingham. The 43-year-old defeated Camille Giorgi, ranked 48th in the world, in a 3 hours, 17-minute battle, winning the final tie set break 7-6 to advance to the last 16. So good one there for Venus Williams, the sister of Serena Williams. That's the latest here on Kickoff this morning on Citi 97.3 FM. We are back 5 p.m. with Sports Flash on Citi FM, and also at 10 p.m. on Citi TV. Don't miss out on the Citi Sports Roundup and more of our stories for you on citisportsonline.com. So pick your phone, your laptop, and log on and read more there. And follow us on social media at Citi Sports GHA. My handle at Pichichi GH. Grateful to Lesheho and Shell Hilux for production, for supporting us as well. Hasta la próxima from me, Evans of Uchimanso.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life.
three candidates joined Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Alan Chermartin, who filed their forms last week. Dr. Kofi Konadu Apraku, a former Minister of Trade and Industry, was the first to attempt filing on Monday. However, the Elections Committee identified some anomalies in his documents and advised him to make necessary amendments and additions. Dr. Apraku left the NPP headquarters to address the issues as advised.
When Dr. Apraku came, there was discussions and so he has had to go back and come again to submit full documents to complete the filing process. And so it must not be carried out there that the party has rejected his nomination forms. Forms must be signed.
Next, former Minister of Agriculture Dr. Afriye Akoto visited the party headquarters with members of his campaign team and farmer groups who support his bid. Unlike Dr. Kofi Konadu Apraku, Dr. Akoto's nomination had no issues during inspection by the committee. Although the crowd accompanying Dr. Akoto was not as large as those who joined Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during his filing, he remained unfazed, believing that some individuals were buzzed to the venue.
Everybody who has come here, including representatives of farmers, are here on their own accord. You can't see any bus or any big commercial vehicle bringing in people to come and support. People have come on their own volition and of their very tight conviction that my candidature for the flag bearership of this party will be good for the new patriotic party.
Dr. Akoto took the opportunity to reiterate his vision of utilizing agriculture to drive Ghana's economic agenda if elected as president.
I can assure you, the same way I was able to bring agriculture to the front line of policy discussion, it will be the same way that agriculture will be used to take us out of the clutches of the IMF. Because the agricultural sector in this country has great potential, and we haven't even scratched the surface of it.
Former Energy Minister Boakye Ejiakun was greeted with drumming, dancing, and praise from his supporters upon arriving at the party headquarters. After filing his forms, he called on the party to take action against candidates and party executives who have been violating election rules.
Please do not hold yourself aloof from the entire point, thinking that if rules are broken without sanctions, everybody is going to look on as we've looked on in the past. The plea I make to you and to your committee is that hold the line that you've drawn. I respect the line, I respect the party, I will not break it. But say obi bu meme mowa no obi buwa minju.
The party's director of election stated that he has not received any reports of such violations and urged the former energy minister to officially lodge complaints with the party for resolution.
That is not before me. I have not received any petition. I'm not aware the General Secretary has also been petitioned. And so if there's any, and you heard me telling them that if he happens to have any issue, they shouldn't hesitate to inform the appropriate committee, i.e. the OK committee. So for all those things that Mr. Ejiakun mentioned, I will expect him that where he thinks that somebody is flouting the rules, he make the appropriate petition to the appropriate secretariat and it to be addressed.
Later, Dr. Kofi Konadu Apraku returned with his completed forms, which were accepted by the party.
If I were president, I would start off with the government structure and I would dramatically change what we have. I will look at our constitution that offers too much power to the presidency, and I will work to ensure that perhaps after 8 years that I would have left office, we will have election, competitive election in selecting regional ministers, competitive election in DCEs.
The New Patriotic Party is getting close to the end of the period for the filing of its nominations. The party is hoping that all those who picked up the forms will come up and file their forms. Reporting for City News, Hansen Ajiman. These three.
My shining star, you are my star. My shining star, come on, give me all your love. I just can't get enough. I will never last a day when you take your love away. Forever I'm yours, and ever I want your love, 'cause you
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
Ooh, girl, I love you so, and ever I want you to know that you are my star, my shining star. Girl, that's how sweet you are. Ain't nobody in the whole world like you. Listen, everybody wants to get to know my girl.
7:33, the 20th of June. Happy birthday to Godwin Bakatanchi from the land of Saboba in the northern region.
So free and wide. She's
Our sunshine Jared Mawira Sabla.
my shining star.
Enjoy this special day as we celebrate your 10th. May the good Lord bless and guide you to become the great man you aspire to be. We love you from Jasper, Claire, JJ, and Yinbe. To Jacob Kwe, formerly of the Information Services Department, a happy 40th birthday. Keep making the family proud as you climb the 4th floor from your wife, your children, and your friends.
I will never last a day.
I'd like to say happy birthday to one of my classmates, Anis Mokhtari, from Accra Academy. Very, very interesting gentleman. So Anis, happy birthday to you.
I want your love, 'cause you.
And if you can find a more memorable horns routine in a song, let me have it. This is too much. No, this one, it does it for me. Like I'm talking about like a conjointry horns. No, this song is on its own.
A lot of the nice conjuncture riffs are keyboard based. So yeah.
So it's like keyboard use. Not
but I'm just saying, but of course, this is like the horn sound synthesizer. But this is nice.
I love it.
I know you like your horns.
I love my horns, Charlie. You know horns in the song? You know, like the trumpet sound. The trumpet sound in the song, Charlie. It's too much. I like Joyful Way. They have some songs that they start with trumpets. Yeah, pananam pam panam pana. You know.
Like a child.
But
like
what do you call it? Stone Boy's recent album.
Manoji. Manoji has a nice,
some nice horns.
The opening sound you hear.
Wow.
No, that one, Charlie. No.
All right, so here's some help. So apparently, like Tete Ofochu is a firstborn child in Ada. This is from Benjamin Doko. So I was asking Evans Ofochu man, so what is Ofochu means? He was just smiling at me.
So it's not Ofosu.
No, it's Ofochu. He's an Adaman.
Yeah, I said Ofochu.
No, I'm saying no. I'm asking that.
Yeah. He always thought the name was Ofosu.
No, it's Ofochu.
Ofochu.
Yeah. So I was asking what his name meant. So it's like a firstborn.
Some of these Gadangbe names, they don't have meanings. They just tell you
who you are.
So like, for example, my uncle he's Nati. He's my grandfather's first son. So like Sam George's middle name is Nati, so he's his dad's first son.
Whether he knows the meaning or not. I'm ready to praise Laboraji Mensa of Tema Metro Health Directorate. We love you, Mommy, from Araba, Efwa, and Ebo. Blessed special 50th to our wonderful Mama Licious Abigail Mensa. May you experience the fullness of God's goodness and blessings in every way. You're amazing and we love you, the whole wide world, and back again. From Mamani, Mickey, and the Mensa clan. Hey, Charlie, it's not like they are just alliterating this morning. Mamani, Mickey, and the it's like Mickey Mouse. All right, let me repeat this one to Jared Mawira Sabla. Happy 10th birthday from Jasper, Claire, JJ, and Yinbe.
Ain't nobody in the whole world.
And from Bright Doe, you are amazing. We love you, the whole world, and back again. I think I read that already.
Wants to get to know my girl.
All right, so let's get into some quick announcements, and then we will bring you
so romantic.
What else happened. Don't forget, we're in the third week of the City Business Festival, brought to you by Citi TV and Citi FM in partnership with ABSA Bank, proudly sponsored by MTN Momo, MTN Business, and ZPay, with support from Gersel. This week we're looking at the changing face of the Ghanaian retail scene. Some very, very interesting numbers. Gentlemen, did you know this? That
wants to get to know my girl.
60% or more of the retail space in Ghana is open market. Did you know this?
Open market.
Yes. So apparently yesterday,
like Carnation.
Yeah. So I interviewed Michael Harry Yamson yesterday, and he came up with some numbers. The retail market in 2021 is worth $24 billion. It could be more, and 60% of that segment of retail is just open market. 36% is what you would call community stores. Only 4 to 5% is the large retailers.
Okay.
Only 4 to 5% to the Melcoms, the
that's
China
not too
malls, the
surprising.
palaces. So 60% of the retail market is basically just open market. That was quite fascinating. And he's going to be speaking about that. And also the other thing I need to ask you. So of all the categories, let me just ask you a quick question. Of all the things that you could buy in the open market, which category of products did Ghanaians spend the most money on?
Food.
That's true. By what percentage? It's almost like
65%.
Overwhelmingly food.
65%.
Nathan, like, let me give you the number here. So, you are right, it's food, yeah? Okay, so let me go to the categories. So it's like clothing, drinks, which is alcoholic and non-alcoholic, DIY and hardware stores, luxury goods, prestigious cosmetics and fragrances, eyewear, home and laundry care, beauty and personal care, food, tissue and hygiene paper, pet food, retail, delivery, e-commerce. Food is like...
like what, 80%? I said 65%.
So they did something they call per capita revenue per category. Food is 922. The next category is DIY and hardware store, which is 170. So food is almost 1,000.
The difference is huge.
And everything else is lower. So most people are spending their money on food.
Okay.
That also means that we are still in the lower chain of development, because the more people advance, the less of their income they spend on food. So yesterday when I was interviewing Michael, he said it means that people basically work to eat.
Yeah.
They spend the money on food. There's no money for anything else. And I don't know if you've been monitoring your own expenses. It would seem as if since COVID, a lot more money goes into food.
Yeah, that's true.
Because food is more expensive. Like, for example, you want to buy ripe plantain. If you want to eat ripe plantain, you live in Accra.
Charlie, it will
it's
cost
very
you.
expensive. And you know that the inflation figures from last week, food is by far, in fact, food inflation is much higher than non-food inflation. So it's not a very good thing. Interesting third point was that retail, delivery, and e-commerce together is a strong third. So
retail, delivery,
so
and e-commerce. Yes.
People are buying shoes, they are buying watches, they are buying phones, all using online channels.
That is true.
And they are getting people deliver it to them. A lot of people are also buying food by delivery.
That's true.
So when you put the delivery market together, it's the third largest category.
What I can guess, and maybe I'm trying to hypothesize here, that probably COVID, if you looked at the factors that may have driven it up, COVID will be a...
So retail, and the other thing I need to say about these retail guys is that a lot of businesses depend on delivery guys without actually knowing how to manage them well. So I'll give you an example. Sky, maybe you want to buy something from a shop or somebody wants to buy you orange juice. Now, this person has a nice Instagram page with beautiful orange juice. You speak to the person politely. Then they give the orange juice to some guy. He's not even branded. He's basically just a random dispatch rider. And he'll call you and just say, hey, Kofi, where's your house? I'm bringing the orange juice. So they are a problem in the chain. Because if you buy something, there must be, the way the thing is brought to you must be part of the process, the experience.
I think a lot of these vendors maybe may not have the financial muscle to take on the additional weight of having branded riders or a delivery, because it comes at a bit of a cost. So a lot of them outsource.
Yes.
A lot of them outsource.
A problem, no. Because if you can brand them well, train them better, let them look better, it's part of your offering. But
on the food side of things, though, platforms such as
Glovo,
Bolt Food, the food part of Haptel and things, at least
are doing well.
They kind of
they are doing well.
Yes, but a lot of these other entities.
Guys, and
still,
look, the way they come, look at even the container.
The thing behind the motorbike, it's not well kept.
Please, I don't even want to. It's not up there. It's not up there.
And
the way they wear some yellow shirt, they've not washed for like God knows when.
They should know, and you are selling food. So you should look, and it's a very important thing, because this is the thing we do in Ghana. We'll sit here, we'll do it 2x4, then somebody will come from the US, come up with a certain app, and I'm sure it's already there, like the way they did the Uber and the Bolts of this world. Come up and assemble the motorbikes, put them on a particular schedule.
Just yesterday I was talking about this.
You see, so this is what we do in Ghana. We will not take advantage of the opportunity to systemize. Then somebody comes in, brings a platform, then the drivers of motorbike will come to Citi and say, hey, they are cheating us, they are taking our money. Do you understand? Meanwhile, like, the taxi business has been disrupted forever by Bolt, Uber, and Yango, right? And these motor guys, I'm sure they are platforms, because, for example, the Glovo, I think they are a bit more organized.
Yes, Bolt Food as well.
They are a bit more organized than the others. And I really think that if you're a dispatch rider, it's a very serious work. So please take it a bit more seriously. When you call the person and he's not picking, don't just, like, they just shout on the phone and, hey, maybe we need Daniel, but I'm bringing you this delivery, like. And there's another thing I need to say as well. Our levels of education are not that great, and we need to make sure that people get a basic good education, because, Sky, there are so many things having a basic education will help you do. So, for example, if you are not literate, you can't manipulate the phone properly. So a lot of people using the app in a useful way, some of them, they struggle. So usually they just want you to call them and tell them where you are, because you send them the location, and he's pretending as if there's a problem with the map, but he doesn't actually know how to manipulate the map or how to even read the map.
People use Uber, they don't understand how to use the map.
And you see, map reading is not simple, because I did geography, right? Yeah. And I'm telling you that even when I'm driving, sometimes managing to understand the map I'm looking at, I have to spend my time looking at it very well before I follow it. So imagine somebody who hasn't done any, and these maps are simple maps. All right. And the maps also speak English with some very funny accent. After 200 meters, turn right. We should be able to find ways of making it easier to talk to people who don't speak English.
That's why the people employing them have got to do the job of educating them, like training them properly. When you take the person in, you don't just unleash him onto the customer. What you do is take him in, do maybe 30 days of training, so that he would understand the intricacies of using a map like that, how to read it, when to turn left, when to turn right. If it says that in 200 meters, turn left.
But can the map also speak to your let's say after drive 200 meters, money right?
That's something.
It's not that difficult.
That's work in progress.
Yes, you know something like
I know somebody who we are working on something.
Because like technology that talks to you shouldn't be that difficult.
Well, it's not as simple as it, because it will require training the AI to be able to speak Akan, to be able to speak Ga, to be able to speak Ever.
Okay.
And it is not something that the AI has been trained on. So it's something that you have to take.
Because of the dynamics involved in. But Sky, hold on. See, in Google, the directions have it's not a random thing. It's not like me telling you that when you drive 200 meters, there are specific prompts it gives you after specific times. Yeah. So you are driving to Tema. When you're 100 meters from the hospital junction, it says in 200 meters, turn right. Yes. So those things can be programmed and recorded.
No, see, it doesn't work like that, because you need to have a full gamut of a rich collection of the words in say ever.
Yeah.
A rich collection of the words that matter.
But if I sit you down with 5 people from linguistics,
you
you
guys
guys do it.
into this.
No, Sky, hold on, Scott.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, let me explain my ignorance, then you help me. I'm saying that when I use Google Maps, the basic things it tells me are no more than 12 different types of things. So it tells you, it gives you like a 1 kilometer alert.
But the maps also come with arrows, right?
Yes, it's 500
So you
meter
can turn off
alert.
the-
It basically says 10 right or 10 left. Take the first exit, take the second exit. These are basic things.
No, that's not what it says. Sometimes it will say that. Sometimes it will tell you a good number of times that turn on to number 11 to tell you to your left or in 100.
But how
meters,
difficult is that to say in your
Bernard,
language?
you see, so first of all, you have to record tete. You have to record loop.
But it already says it in English in a bad accent anyway. So we are not translating the names of the places. The names of the places are already there. Like as Google speaks now, Google can mention number 11 Tete Loop. It will mention it, right? So hold on, if you say Nene do 200 meters, throw it right or whatever, you can't say that. You can't tell me that number 11 Tete Loop is already being mispronounced in English. So you don't need to mispronounce it in Ewe to make it better.
You see, I don't want to give so much away on this matter. That's why I'm saying that it is not as simple. But
that's how we should do it. If it was simple, somebody would have done it.
When we were having a discussion on this particular matter, I took the view that you are taking now, right? Assuming that it is as easy.
Yeah.
But there's more to it. That's where I will.
So actually, you are talking like our uncles in the village. It's like, I won't say anything. It's okay. All right, where am I? 7:47. So many things to talk about. Citi Breakfast. So watch out for the interview with Michael Harry-Yamsen at 9:05. And if you what I want you to do is to listen to that interview in tandem with the interview that I did with Michael Koto, because those two interviews give a lot of insight into the retail space. Then you can tune in at 11 to Citi TV, and we have 4 guests. Rebecca Onkalinse is joining us via Zoom. And then we have Grace Enimebua, who's the head of business banking, director of business banking at ABSA. Then you have Michael Koto and Harry-Yamsen on the panel as well. And they're looking at the changing face of retail. So keep an eye on that particular side of things. And the other thing I need to tell you quickly is that if you owe TDC in any shape or form, please, if you don't pay by 30th June, they'll come after you. You know, I don't know any how they have seen this. They're saying debtors, defaulters of land management fees, license fees, ground rent, office or shop rent, all of those guys who have not made payments. Now we have multiplied the channels you can make payments through. The mobile money short code *737 *46#. Our Simon sub office opposite Joe Cinema at a Simon Market. You can also come to TDC head office near Olam Senior High School, Tema Community 1. Call us on 059-691-3236 or 059-404-3311 to make payment to TDC. And at Imperial General Assurance, we believe your insurance experience will be memorable and give you peace of mind to focus on what really matters, because we will be there for you when the unexpected happens. Now, we have a newly introduced travel insurance policy. Gives you total cover for all your travels outside Ghana. Talk to us today for your insurance needs, whether it's motor, engineering, accident, marine, fire, bonds. Get the insurance experience that gives you smiles. You may reach us on 0577-667-436 or talk to your insurance broker or any of our agents across the country. And Bell Pack paper tissue gives you the best. The tea rolls are soft but not weak, strong but not hard, just perfect. Cleans in one wipe. Bell Pack lasts long, saves you money. Call 055-1144-400 for a distribution opportunity. That's 055-1144-400.
Now, if you're thinking about what to study for your master's degree, talk to the University of Ghana. Their law school is giving you a unique opportunity to broaden your horizon. Now, go and enroll in any of their 19 MA or LLM programs for the coming academic year. Now, the aim of these programs is to provide individuals with or without a previous background in law with legal knowledge and skills to enrich their portfolio while adding value to their profession. So speak to the University of Ghana, get to their website, law.ug.edu.gh/masters, or call 0531 282-413, 0531 330 203 or 0244 759-997. UG School of Law, the best place to be. Now, research has proven that in Ghana, stigmatization and discrimination against persons living with HIV and TB patients are among major human rights barriers affecting the uptake and quality of health services and other support systems available. So the Ghana West Africa program to combat AIDS and STI is collaborating with its partners, including DOFSU, WILDAF, and SHRAJ, and they are working to reduce HIV and TB-related human rights barriers. Let's join WAPCAS and its partners to remove these barriers by reporting any acts of stigmatization and discrimination. Call WAPCAS toll-free on 0800 123 555 or Women in Law and Development Africa WILDAF on 0204 917 521 or 0598 235 353. Now, whether you're cruising on the open road or battling with busy traffic, if your car has loads of Shell Helix engine oil, it won't matter. It will still function so well. That's what your car needs to function at the highest level. Shell Helix lubricant Munkosohini. Choose that for the ultimate power, performance, and protection. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself.
All right. I wanted to quickly announce the results of the survey we put out yesterday. So yesterday, we were discussing the health insurance, and I was wondering whether I was alone in not knowing where my card was. All right. I know I have the card. I don't know where I put it. And I also was trying to say that I didn't find the need to use the card because I didn't think it was. I think the inconvenience of using it, sometimes you go to a facility and if you have NHIS, you sort of discriminated against. So yesterday we asked people to tell us whether they have the health insurance card or not and whether they used it. Now, look at the results. So there were 4 possible answers. I have used it recently. All right, Nathan, that's the first one. I have it, I don't use it. That's the second response. Third, I don't have one. And fourth, it's expired. Now, guess what? Only 12% of our respondents have and use the card recently. Not even regularly, recently. Right? I have the card and I use it recently. 12%. 36% says, I have but I don't use it. Right? 24% says, I don't even have the card. And then 28% says, it's expired. So if you put it together, in 100, only 12% of our listeners actively use the card. And even if you say actively use the card, we said you use it recently. If we even said you regularly use it, the number would have been smaller. So it just goes to say that the health insurance, something has gone wrong with it. And I think it has to be one of the issues we bring up in this 2024 election properly. Right? Because to have a country where, I mean, this is city listeners, so you could say it's, I don't know what demography you are going to have. But only 12%, and when we did a survey in this room, I think nobody used the card regularly. All right? And that's not good. That's not good at all. So, Richard, I just want your comment on this quickly before we move on. The survey result from yesterday, you know the survey we put out?
Yeah, I mean...
Only 12% have the card and used it recently. 36% says they have the card, they don't use it. 24% don't even have the card. 28% say it's expired. So 88% of our listeners don't use the card regularly.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the results, I was really disappointed.
It's really serious.
It raises serious concerns about whether we actually even note the requirements of being Ghanaian and the laws there that govern the space. And then also, of course, I don't know why people are not using it, but being on Twitter gives you an indication of the quality of people.
The demographic.
Exactly, because
demographic.
If you go to the hospitals, you see a lot more of our women and men from probably deprived backgrounds, and I'm using this word in a very respectable way, or respectful way, if you like, who use the card. And it is because, as you explained yesterday, the pressure on their pockets and the space that the card provides for you to have access to some levels of health delivery without having to pay from your pocket. So that having been said, it would seem as though you have the middle class generally on Twitter or people close to that.
They ignore the card.
So because they have checked out of the system largely, they are minded to find their own
let's go to the answers again. I have it and I used it recently. Now, you see, innate in that response is that I fell sick recently. All right.
Yeah.
I have it. I don't use it. It could mean they don't fall sick. You see, we should have drilled down. Because if you say I have it, I don't use it, could mean I have it, but I use other means when I go to hospital.
So like the minister said, that he has a card, but he doesn't use it.
So, but 24% says I don't even have one.
Yeah.
And then 28% says it's expired. So the good thing about this survey is that...
So consolidate 28.
Yes. So when you take away 24 from 100, the rest have the card. Right? So that tells you that 76% of the people have the card. Do you understand me? Because only 24% say they don't have it.
Yeah, so they
do you understand?
Yeah,
so 76%
no,
of
but you have to add it's expired.
You understand? What I'm saying is that we are trying to look at people's attitudes to the card. 76% of our respondents either have it or have had it.
Yes.
But 24% have never had it.
That's true.
So it means that we have 1/4 of our people who have to be brought onto the card. But I'm saying that's not too bad. Now, of the 76% who have the card, 28% say it's expired, they've not renewed it. So that's the second problem. But that's not as bad as those who never had it at all.
Yeah, that's
Do you get it? So you have people who've had the card, but then they've not used it, and therefore it's expired, or they've expired, they've not been able to replace it. Then you have those who have it but don't use it.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. It means that either they are not falling sick or they don't think they need to use it.
So
like Nathan.
So yesterday I spoke to you about some of the frustrations.
So let's go through. So you don't have it.
No, I don't have it.
Nathan,
and I don't have it because I've not been in the country.
No, I think we are all here. Look. So Nathan has it but doesn't use it.
Yes, it's dead.
Now Sky doesn't have it.
Bernard has not been in the country.
But Bernard has it, but it's expired.
Yeah, mine is expired.
No, you don't have it.
No, but I mean the 28.
Yeah, I understand, but you see,
but I've had it.
You see,
I don't know where it is, but I have it.
Bernard, you know that all the other people can be put into a large group. We don't have it.
Yes. No, but actually, let me change that because now I have the Ghana card.
Yeah, but
and I have the SNIT card. So technically, I should have an NHIS card.
Yeah, but you don't have.
I have an NHIS number.
I don't have the NHIS.
When was the last time you renewed?
I will check, but no. So you have it?
No, I don't have it.
Charlie, this is not.
Never used it before.
See, so that's the
listen.
problem.
I mean, look, on a real.
Never used it before.
On a real.
I've never felt
the need
to use it.
But
I want us to.
So I didn't even bother.
I want us to just discuss it 2 minutes, listeners. City listeners, 24% of you don't have the national health insurance card. That's not good. Please go and get it.
And what?
And 28% of you, no, we have it, but we don't know where it is.
Okay.
But
is it for decoration?
No, I have it, but I don't know where I put it. 28% is as expired.
Be honest.
I remember the last time I saw it was like last year or something.
But I am taking steps to acquire one.
Only 12% of our respondents have it and have used it recently.
Yeah, that's
It's very serious.
Because if you add 24 to 28, what do you get?
You get 52.
So 52% of the people technically
don't have a proper yes. It's serious. It's serious. So more than a little bit over half.
I think the seriousness there it means we are not contributing to help other people.
Yeah, but they are saying that you see, that's the thing. You contribute when you buy something in the market because
of the levies.
It's fine. You see, that's the technical issue. The payment you pay for it is very small, as in the direct payment you pay between 12 and 48 cedis. And I think your SNIT contribution to a part of it goes, but that's also based on your income. But a lot of it is paid for when you go and buy something.
Yeah,
you know. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, with all apology, I'm taking steps to acquire one. But for now, I don't have it. But my people have it. My media, because I was outside the country.
But do they use it regularly?
Well, that's another one.
Hey, Ghana. Ghana. But it's also very humbling because a lot of people depend on the card. So we should be, and you see, it's been funny. Yesterday you were saying that, and so I'm bringing this back. People need to use a service to know how it feels. Even for us, we have to use it just to get a proper sense so that in our reportage. For example, if you're a journalist on the health beat, you should be able to regularly use your NHIS card to just see how it's going. So that if you are sent to do a story, you can say, Charlie, by the way, the card is not working.
Yeah.
You know, so
the way healthcare is in this country, that kind of test, you'll be dead before the test is over.
What are you saying? No, you have your money in your pocket, but this hold the card.
You'll be dead before the test is over.
Because when they see the card, don't even mind you.
No,
so are you saying that they discriminate against card holders?
No, I'm just saying that for me,
There's
I never bothered.
You want to use your health to do experiment?
I'm not going to experiment with
But it's not what the health minister said. Or alluded
he is
to.
managing the system.
So what?
You know, he is a private citizen, so he can
It's
have
okay.
the card and afford.
Let me not repeat this. Let me not go back to this. Okay. Let me just. You won the argument. It's okay. You have won. All right. We'll go to tech and social media trends. It's brought to us by Vodafone. The Odemu promo is finally here. Receive up to 20% of your money back in your Vodafone cash wallet when you recharge with 5 cedis or more. Now, we're giving you many more reasons to keep your conversations going with Odemu promo. You can send credit to a friend and they too will receive up to 20% cash. So, Sky, you can do that for me. Okay. You know, if you buy me meat pie every morning, you can also add cash. Sky said, yes, it will go before. Guys, will be for you because you know in law. I think your legal. You know, let's pray for you to get some legal breakthrough. I'll just do some work for you. So recharge with 5 cedis and more from your preferred short code, your Vodafone cash wallet, credit transfer, and you can get this fantastic deal. Vodafone further together. Segment is also brought to us by FBN Bank. We've opened our Kids First and Me First account. Now, what's the Kids First account? It's designed for children up to the age of 12 to show them how exciting savings can be. And then for teenagers between 13 and 17, the Me First account helps them to embrace the culture of financial prosperity from a young age. Now, with the Kids First, your child of up to 12 gets to enjoy memorable activities, while the Me First affords teenagers a chance to learn about money in a fun way. Call 059 69 21 921 or visit any of our branches for more information.
Need to do that.
All right, we all know what's trending, but we'll still ask Nathan to tell us.
Hey! Yesterday,
like
easy.
Too much.
Hey! The things that are trending.
What is concern in your language?
Hey, I said Ghana people. Ghana people.
Apasa alegede.
Ghana people. And all kinds of stories.
That's all sleaze.
So it's me sleaze.
Sleaze.
Yvonne Nelson is trending. Tonto Dike is trending. Sarkodie is trending. Tracy is trending.
They are all trending.
Abuna Koko is trending.
People are taking bullets.
Kabute is trending.
Extreme bullet.
Peter Alajite is trending. The Right Honorable.
Sky, you have to move a parliamentary motion. How? Charlie. You let them rest in peace.
All of that are just.
When we say rest in peace, is something we should respect.
All of that are arms and legs.
What is this?
You know,
what is
following
this?
the public display of snippets from Yvonne Nelson's autobio,
my God,
titled "I Am Not Yvonne Nelson." It's
my
making
God.
the rounds. I'm sure lots and lots of people have bought copies. So
yeah,
good for Yvonne Nelson.
I will take a professional review from Godfrey later in terms of the way it's written, the storytelling, and all those things later, because I am told that the bookshops were under pressure yesterday.
Oh yes.
People wiped out the books.
But why are people sharing? Is this guy? Why are people sharing the book,
PDF?
The PDF on soft?
I
don't think. Sky, you see, we need to respect intellectual property. Somebody has written a book that costs a publisher money. Why are you sharing the book free on WhatsApp?
Yeah, so there are two issues there. There are two issues there. When a book is authored, you send it to people close to you or people you know are professionals to review.
It's like exam questions.
So the manuscript is sent to someone who works on it, and then eventually it gets to the publisher who decides who to publish it and all of that. The question is, who received the final manuscript?
It's not right.
So the person, they have to trace the
And
person.
when I got the book, it was forwarded many times.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair.
If WhatsApp had a trend, that one will trend to on WhatsApp.
I think very soon IP will catch up with WhatsApp. They will have to find, because if somebody's written a book that is 100 and something pages that they haven't finished making money from, and you are just sharing it for free, it's not right.
It's sat down to write a book. It's a difficult thing. So please, let's respect people's intellectual property rights.
The other thing that's trending on the energy business finance side of things, Tema Oil Refinery is trending. Now, why is it trending?
The oil is lost.
Our very good friend, Bright Simmons. So a few days ago, he did some analysis talking about. He says there's a plan by the government to give out the Tema Oil Refinery to be run by Torrenco Asset Management, and that's something that those conversations.
In addition to the fact that condensate worth 2.5 million also got lost.
So Bright Simmons has been talking about looking at the plus side, minus side, is
Meanwhile, Dangote has done a 25 billion refinery.
Yeah,
for some reason, this government
it's generating a lot
of
conversation.
Oil scandals. You remember the moving Pina and what happened to that?
That long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's also
why is there's simply no will to let Tor work.
Some way.
It's like the chaos benefits the system.
Tor is a heavyweight.
Okay.
So those are some of the things trending. Now to some tech news.
Yes.
And Do Kwon, this one is in South Korea. Do Kwon, the cryptocurrency boss behind the $40 billion collapse of the Terra USD and Luna tokens, has been sentenced to 4 months jail in Montenegro.
Just 4 months.
Mr. Kwon was found guilty of forging official documents. He was arrested in March as he tried to board a flight to Dubai at the Podgorica airport in the country's capital.
They like Dubai, because the boy too from the bank wanted to go to Dubai.
I think they don't do extraditions.
You know that boy who went to steal the money from the
need to
bank?
check.
He collected his girlfriend. They were going to Dubai.
And then these were them. Anyway, Mr. Kwon also faces charges in the US and South Korea of the collapse of the 2 digital tokens. The former finance officer of Mr. Kwon's company, Terraform Labs, Han Chang-jun, was also sentenced to 4 months in prison after being found guilty of the same charges.
I was taking social media trends with Nathan Kwao.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Brother Bernard.
Yes?
Onya, this morning I'm very hungry. Please, let's go and buy gobe. This time, I want her to add small salad, really, small talia, and soft cocoa, specially made for me. Bae, you know how I like to customize my food.
Hey, because of what? You think say you buy Vodafone made for me bundle offers? Star 530 hash is the code to get the best value offers made just for you for as low as 1 Ghana cedi.
Hey, Brother Bernard, so you've been hiding Vodafone made for me bundles from me?
Oh, just dial star 530 hash. Feel special with the Vodafone made for me bundle offers. Get unbeatable best value offers from voice, data, or voice plus data bundles made just for you. Dial star 530 hash to subscribe to Vodafone made for me bundle offers or download my Vodafone app today.
Vodafone, further together.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Do you remember that just a few years ago, your dad was telling you,
"You dear, you like pressing your phone will kill you. You marry your phone."
Now, it is he who can't put his phone down. WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, every minute. Now he updates you on trend. As for you, you won't complain. No, you won't judge dad. You will get him a very good Samsung smartphone on discount this Father's Day. And you know he will love you for it. From 8th to 19th June, buy the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and get a 1,500 Ghana cedis discount. Get a good deal on any Samsung Galaxy A14, A04s, A04, and A04e. Get a free case when you buy a Galaxy A03 core as well. This offer is available at all Samsung authorized stores now. You're a good child and you're getting a good deal from Samsung this Father's Day. Terms and conditions apply.
The biggest business festival in Ghana is on.
Mark your calendars this June as we bring you the Citi Business Festival 2023. The running theme for this year's festival is Make It Ghana. It's going to be a month-long conversation on how to grow, improve, and expand your business with seasoned industry experts. Join the weekly business forum every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. live on Citi TV for discussions on various thematic areas each week, beginning with Week 1, Reimagining the Digital Economy. Week 2, Building Resilient SME Brands. Week 3, the changing phase of the Ghanaian retail market. And Week 4, understanding and leveraging agribusiness value chains. Also, tune in every weekday at 9:05 a.m. for the Citi Business Festival On Air series on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM to acquire the information you need to kickstart and strengthen your business. There will be a lesson for every business on the Citi Business Festival 2023 this June, only on Citi TV, 97.3 Citi FM, citibusinessnews.com, and on CNR Digital. The Citi Business Festival 2023 is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 1.3 Sadia whole frozen chicken, only 49 cedis, 99 pesos worth. And 1 liter Kamesa juice assorted, just 23 cedis, 99 pesos worth each. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 25th June, only at ShopRite.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
All right. You know, some money no be problem. Honest on the block. All right, I'm back again. You know what time it is. Straight up. All right, what's up? Listen. I bank him under that game.
12 minutes past 8, Citi Breakfast Show. Today is my wife's birthday. She is Deaconess Rita Sapong Asante. Deputy HR Director Gepa. Tell her all the Henrietta, Hendrika, and the Henrik Sapong Asantes love her so much. This is coming from Henry. All right, here are a few quick comments on the NHIS situation from yesterday and later the results from the survey.
Okay, so this one said, Bernard, good morning. The last time I used or I had the National Health Insurance Scheme card was in 2007 when I was entering Koforidua Polytechnic, which was a mandatory requirement. After completion, I don't see the need to have it. I will better go and pay to have me taken care of than hold a card that will be rejected in the hospital. This one from Dominic says, Bernard, NHIS card workers who I went to Rich Hospital and I didn't pay Kobo for all the service and medicine that they gave to me. I was shocked. This one says, it's coming in from Paco in Secunde. Says, Nathan, please, I have not used my card for the last 3 years and it has expired. I'm retired. How do I use the card since I don't need to renew as a retiree?
Is it sure it doesn't need to renew?
Oh, no, you need to renew, except that you don't pay premium. They are an exempt to go.
The NHIS is... I'm even surprised they haven't come out to work with this information we are giving them or come out to even respond to it. You know, it's like there's some inertia. No, it's sad because, guy, 10 years ago, NHIS was a big thing. Remember when Sly was the CEO of NHIS? Like when you go to Parliament to cover a story, and the NHIS CEO comes to Parliament, like there's a lot of interest when they invite NHIS to any of the committees to. It's a major issue. I mean, remember those days when the Parliamentary Committee on Health invites him to come and answer questions. MPs will be flocking because it's a big matter. Somehow the scheme, I don't know. It's lost its shine. I don't know what it is. It's there's something not there anymore.
It's a difficult one. But there's a young man who is now in charge, Okoboy, who is seeking to provide a new direction for the scheme.
We are not giving them money. The thing is some way.
Have a nice building.
Oh, please.
So I hope that he succeeds with what he's seeking.
The scheme has lost its shine.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that it's important. Let me use my limited perspective. When you go to Parliament in the between 2010 to like maybe 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, NHI is a big item. It will come on front pages a lot. It was a major news. These days, there is some corner in the back page. You know, what's the last time graphic in the front page on NHIS? It's not. Nobody thinks about it anymore. And that's the other point. The middle class have checked out of it. And this is what happens. You see, when it concerns we, those who have voice, we make a lot of noise. So right now we are saying secondary school education, free SHS, the government should do this because school fees are too expensive. As soon as the middle class gets to a point where they get into equilibrium, where they realize that, Charlie, politicians will mess up education and we can get away with it because we'll send our kids to expensive schools and we can pay for it. They'll stop talking about basic education. They'll talk about something else. It's the same thing. NHIS came first. Initially, we're all like, Charlie, NHIS. Right now, nobody is even using it. And we are not even wealthy people who are here.
We're not wealthy.
Yeah. So imagine with the politicians, they are not even thinking about NHIS. It's really sad. So it's like, and we would do the same to secondary education too.
But if the man is not using it, why would you care about it?
That's the point you made yesterday, which I agree with you.
Yes. In fact,
so we want to bring the NHIS back onto the mainstream. See, this is what I'm saying. NHIS, and let me explain myself. NHIS is important. NHIS is important, but it's lost its, I don't know, it's lost its place in our public discourse. You know, it's lost its place in our public, and we need to. And because as soon as we allow it to become a back burner issue, the level of attention required from officialdom goes away. Okay, so we need to find a way, and I think I'm included in this conversation as well, to keep bringing it up. If it even means, for example, Vivian, CNR, you send your reporters to do a quick scan of the way the card is working in the regions. So maybe today, Dan, I'm going to go to Tamale Teaching Hospital, and then somebody will go to another hospital. We need to find a way of bringing it back, because if we don't do that, the arrears will be more, the payments will not be made, and the scheme will eventually just die. You know what I'm saying? So from an editorial perspective, I think we have a responsibility to keep the NHIS story running. You know, and I really hope I had Okoboy to speak to tell me what he's trying to do with this NHIS thing. You know, Nathan, I don't know what you think about that. The NHIS.
Yeah, I mean, we've done several stories. You know, we've
but
done
the frequency
that.
has reduced, Nathan.
To be honest,
NHIS
yes.
used to be a big story.
Oh, yes, I'm just talking about the fact that we've done several stories on this. They've not been paid. There's no reimbursement. Entities are not happy and they are complaining.
NHIS people can't talk too much.
Yeah, they can't talk a lot. So clearly there is a challenge. It is a good idea. It's a good policy, because all over people need a kind of buffer when it comes to their health. So we cannot overlook its importance. What would, like you're saying, and I agree with you on this one, would have loved to hear from the NHIS people to probably explain to us what kind of challenge they face, because everybody contributes to the scheme directly or indirectly. Whenever you buy anything and you do a breakdown of the cost, there's a component that goes to the there's a levy or something. So what's happening to the kitty?
Let me speak to Okoboy. He's the chief executive of the scheme, and I'll start with the survey we did. It was a very unscientific survey. We just went on our social media and asked people to tell us their experience with the NHIS card, whether they had a card or not. And I think it would be good information for the CEO to at least hear what our listeners said. Honorable Bernard Okoboy, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Odadia, and greetings to the whole team.
Wonderful. So yesterday we discussed the scheme, and it was a nice discussion. We put out a survey on Twitter, and we asked people whether they still have the NHIS card and when was the last time they used it. 12% said they have the card and used it recently. 36% says they have it but don't use it. 24% said they don't even have the card at all. And 28% says it is expired. So if you put the numbers together, at least 74% have had the card at some point, but about 52% either don't have it or are not using it at all. Is this, of course, this is not the national picture, it's just a Twitter picture. How close to the national picture is this result? Maybe that will be our starting point.
Well, as at thank you very much. As at end of last year, about 17 million Ghanaians had been registered onto the scheme, active members, which was equivalent to, I think, close to 50% of the population. So there's what you had on the Twitter poll is not too different when it comes to the number of Ghanaians who have the card. It covers about half the population. Now, we are trying to test about 20 million Ghanaians this year. That's trying to get to about 57, 58%. Now, what I would like to say is that when you have a very tough match and the referee is sort of on top of his job, you don't see him a lot in the picture. It's true that in the past, NHIS will be hauled to Parliament. They have to come and answer questions. There's the whole fury and all that. Those things have come down because, myself, I've been in Parliament. So there are a lot of things that I try to be preemptive at doing, seeing leadership, explaining what we are doing to them and all that. So for the first time in history, our formula, the budget approval for NHIS, was done under 1 hour. When I appeared the first time, before Parliament the last time, it's the first time that we've done 45 minutes and the budget was over. In the past, it could take 4 or 5 hours. So that is just by the way for you to know why you don't have a lot of noise. I think maybe I would admit that our corporate affairs could do maybe if I say a better job. You never know how the media report me, so I would say can improve or up their game. Just last week, I told Bono East and a half origin. I was in Sunyani last week Sunday. I just came back last Thursday evening to Accra. And Bernard, one chief, the Guasuchi, he said, when anybody comes to his palace to come and summon someone, so the 3 months, like he put it, if you don't have the national health insurance card, it doesn't allow you to even make your case. Because the penetration for health insurance in the population is about 95%. It's in Accra and Kumasi that, would I say fortunately or unfortunately, because people have purchasing power and all that, people don't put a lot of premium on the health insurance. But a place like Ahafo, 90% of the population.
So would that 95% be regular usage or ownership of cards?
Well, let me say this. Outside Accra, when 100 people visit a hospital, at least 80 of them go with a health insurance card. That's what they use outside Accra and Kumasi.
Wow. Outside Accra and Kumasi, when 100 people go to a hospital, 80% of them will go as the principal means of payment.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, and then let me tell you something. As of January of this year, health insurance was paying an average of 110 million Ghana cedis every 30 days to hospitals across Ghana. 110 every 30 days. It has been up to about 150 million because of the adjustments in prices we did to match inflation and other factors. And guess what? These payments were known only by the hospitals and ourselves. When you go to the hospital, suppliers give them medicines and all that. They will tell you, when you go to take your money, some of them will tell you, oh, it's been a year now. Health insurance hasn't given me anything. So we've introduced a policy we call the Sunshine Policy. Now, when we pay them, we give the file to Ghana Medical Association, Ghana Health Service. So that some of your colleagues, the media, get it from our corporate affairs. And since we started that, I met a pharmacist who said their payments has increased over 800%. In fact, I was going to put the file on our website so that every Ghanaian can access it. Some of them made calls and begged me not to do that. Bernard, we have operated in the dark for too long. Ghana, through health insurance, pays $12 million every 30 days to facilities across Ghana.
That's wonderful. So, but in terms of the cash flow, we do know that a lot of these funds are paid in arrears. So it shouldn't be too strange to say get a certain quarter in arrears. But just give us a sense of the payments that have been made. Because we've heard, for example, I think in March, the ranking member for the committee alleged that nothing was paid in 2022 right? And that in the 2022 formula, it was estimated that the government collected about 3.6 billion cedis, and the government took about 1.7 billion. So what I'm asking you to do is to tell me, are the payments still made in quarters?
Yes.
And are the monies being released in time for you to meet your liabilities?
Bernard, so over the years, we've had some level of legacy debt. When I say legacy, I mean the scheme itself runs on credit. You take care of people. You take like 2-3 weeks to work on your documents. You send it to us. We also vet for 2 weeks. So give or take, there's some 2 months lap or gap that stays statutorily or like it's an institutional gap by way the scheme runs. The last time we paid was about 2 weeks ago, and that was for November paid, the month of November also. Now, when you check from November to now, you are thinking about 7 months. So if you take the 2 months, so we paid 2 weeks ago, but the month for which we paid the money was November of last year, 2022. Now, if you check and take out the 2 months, that's about 5 months arrears. But Bernard, the impression that goes out in the public is that for the past 5 months, hospitals have not been paid. Now, get this. At least for the 2 years that have been part of the health insurance on their board and then CEO, every single month, for the past 24 months, every facility in Ghana receives their monthly money till now. So I realized that the problem was not the 3-4 months or 6 months arrears. It was the lack of transparency. They don't also honor the obligations to central medical stores, to their suppliers, and that brings the issue. So immediately we started to publish. Now they started to sip with the suppliers. And this talk that health insurance doesn't work, forgive me, Bernard, it is made by people who have an intrinsic bias, who normally will not visit a government hospital or don't have the card. If you come to Lekma Hospital, send your reporters. If you talk to 10 people who entered Lekma, 6 minimum because it's a car or 7, they went with their card. And if they wrote 5 drugs for them, 3 or 4 are all given by health insurance, if not all the 5. So I think the problem I have realized in this country, my wife, myself, my kids, we all have health insurance cards. Most people, when they get to the middle and upper class, they stay away from government infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
And largely, that is why we are not able to build our institutions. We need to experience the government sector to critique it, to make it work.
But Doc, is it not necessary? Some people think it's not necessarily bad, because my understanding of insurance is that the healthy and the wealthy will contribute just like the sick and the poor. But because the healthy will not go to the hospital as many times, that allows insurance to cover the sick people. In the same way, if the wealthy register for the card but do not use it, at least by registering and making some payment, it subsidizes the poor. So the non-usage could be an advantage for the scheme, in a sense that it allows the scheme to be viable. That's what somebody explained to me yesterday. In fact, they even said of something called adverse selection, where they were saying that only the poor and the sick were going for the card, so that it's almost like people select the card when they are really, really sick. All right. So I don't know whether that point tempers the point you are making a bit, that the fact that people are not using the card may not necessarily be bad if they have other sources of paying for their health. So long as they contribute for the scheme to be viable, we shouldn't be worried.
No, Bernard, I think you've been excellent. Adverse selection is where the sick and those who are vulnerable go in for the card or an insurance just so that they can use it. They weigh the insurance down. My issue is not with non-utilization of the card, because if you are not sick, there will not be the need to go. In fact, again, forgive me, let me say, what the chief in Telecom made a very wonderful comment last weekend on Wednesday. He said, Doc, when you do insurance, sometimes you have to do roadways. Consider letting everyone who does the card have a general checkup, so that at least you have an idea of their status before it gets complicated. By the way, so that if you don't use the card, at least you do a checkup. Now, Bernard, my issue, and I want to make this point clear, my issue is not with non-utilization, because that's how insurance works. My issue is with the bastardization. My issue is with the making of false claims. Claims like it doesn't work, when the one saying it has not even entered the government hospital or a private hospital accredited by us. I was watching a TV program some few months ago, and on the program they said, oh, health insurance card, it covers even only malaria. Surgery and things are very complicated. And I called in and said, but almost all the emergency sections, cesarean section, laparotomy, all are covered, hernia covered by insurance. And then luckily for me, one of the panelists said the mother got some accident, went to Winneba Hospital. They paid money for everything. And then later, a nurse hinted him to get the car. When they went for review weeks later, they didn't pay anything. So, Bernard, we need a lot of education. My fear is that when you continue to say it doesn't work, the vulnerable person who needs it most stays away. And then on the day of trouble, they realize that even when they do the card, they have to wait mandatorily for 30 days, and then they are in very serious financial.
Yeah, but Doc, again, on that point, could it not be that, based on what you said about Accra, Kumasi, maybe in Accra and Kumasi, the facilities have become, because people are wealthier, the facilities can opt to discriminate against NHIS card holders. Because if in a day, as 100 customers, maybe 30 are on private health insurance, another 60 have their own out-of-pocket money to pay. So the NHIS people are not that many. So he can afford to delay them. But in the rural areas, because of the prevalence of the card, the institution and the facility knows that predominantly people coming to my facility will use the card. So the system is set up to work with the card. So maybe it's not necessarily a bastardization, but it could be that in urban communities, the facilities themselves frown on the card because they don't want to go through the hassle of having to wait for payment. Do you get my point? So it may not necessarily be a bastardization, but a rural-urban dichotomy in attitudes of facilities, which then influences the users who feel like when I take NHIS to a hospital in Accra, they will just mistreat me. So I better just go with my own money. You get my point?
Yeah, I get you. I think one other thing I'll say to you is that, unfortunately, the national health insurance has been a tool that has been used in political circles for long. When one particular government is in opposition, party is in opposition, sometimes they try to paint a picture. They amplify the challenges of the scheme to win the hearts of people. And when they come, virtually, either they do the same thing, do not tackle the real issues, or even it gets worse. Let me say that I have heard political figures say that, the insurance has collapsed. But this morning, you will come to Lekma Hospital, there's a woman receiving cesarean section, and she's using a car. You go to the hospital in Accra, people are being treated. When I was working there, these days that isn't tough to go to the hospital. I see patients, I treat them for hypertension, diabetes. All their medicines are covered by the card. They don't pay anything and go home. And yet, we say that it's failed. That is not to say there are no challenges, Bernard. There are hospitals, and by the way, I'm happy for this opportunity. This morning at 11, I am meeting the CEOs of all teaching hospitals, Director General of Ghana SF. We have formed a committee called the Illegal Charges or Co-Payments Committee, which has gone around the country to look at the charges that some hospitals make despite people having a card. And guess what? Before they brought me the report, some hospitals actually refunded the money they took. Some hospitals engage in their behavior because they assume that nobody is watching. I'm being honest and frank with you. What I'm doing this morning is for us as leaders to take charge. I am going to charge all the leaders to make sure that they are responsible for what happens down there. Because you go to Guaso, a government hospital there is charging for some procedure. You come to Kintampo, another government hospital is not charging. So once there is arbitrary behavior, it means that the top has not rationalized or has not taken charge. And that is what we are doing this morning. And Bernard, before the end of the year, and I'm going to tell them this morning, some hospitals will be decredentialed by us. Decredential means that we will take away their credentials. They cannot see anybody in the card. Wow. And guess what? Any hospital that is decredentialed, I will not be surprised to go for chiefs to come and beg. 80% of all hospitals in Ghana survive with national health insurance. When we withdraw their license, they cannot operate. The IGF of 80% of all hospitals in Ghana, out of government hospitals, is actually 90%. They survive only because health insurance continues to pay them every month. If we take away their credentials, they are gone. And that is how serious we are going to take.
So this 11 o'clock meeting, is the media invited?
Oh, Bernard, I think because you work my school, you can come.
No, okay, no problem. I have two final questions for you. Then you go. I know you are busy this morning, but thank you so much. Two points. And I'm premising that I'm joining the questions together. In March this year, and sorry if this is politics, but he will not be the first person to do politics with NHIS. In fact, the party that you're a member of also did politics with the NHIS. They said NHIS was collapsed. They said it many times in their campaign. So you have admitted that it's a two-way thing. That notwithstanding, the ranking member of the Health Committee, Kwamna Minta Akando, has made some very serious claims about the amount that are actually paid to the scheme as against the amounts collected for the scheme. Right? You get the point?
Yeah.
So he said, for example, in 2021, government collected in excess of 2 billion cedis and paid about 127 million, which was about 6%. He goes on to say that in 2022, it was estimated that the government collected about 3.6 billion and the government took about 1.7 billion. He then goes on to even compare 2018. Government took 197 out of the amount NHIS was supposed to get. 2019, 752. 2020, 277. And then 2021, 1.1 billion. And then now 2022, 1.7 billion. So they are saying that if you look at the amount that statutorily the scheme is supposed to get from what we are told in the law they are entitled to, and then when you put together what they are paid in a calendar year, the amounts are very, very low. I don't know whether this is true. If it is, as the scheme, as the CEO, what are you doing about it?
Bernard, so there are two, and I want to take my time so you understand what is happening. You have releases to the authority annually, money that is given to us. So we make a budget that we need. This year, for example, our budget was 2.7 billion Ghana cedis, 2.5 billion coming from central government, and 200 million being our IGF, money we generate from processing fees and all that. Now, last year, it was 2.9 billion. Out of the 2.9, 2.7 was supposed to come from government, but it was 2.1 billion that came to us by the end of the 12 months. 2.1 out of the 2.9. Now, although we got, if you strike it, it will be about 60 to 70%. I mean, it's a healthy percentage. But when you go and look at that amount against what is collected for 2022, it is possible it will only be about 15%. Now, this is the math. Normally, the money we are receiving, although it came in 2020, let's say 2022, it is money that was collected in the name of 2021. So, although we've gotten what we need largely for the year, a critic or someone who is dealing strictly with annual, levy collected in the name of the levy will say, Okoboy, you have had 2 billion in 2022, but I'm not looking at that. That is 70% of your budget for the year. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what percentage is that money when you compare to levies named 2022 levy for NHIS. Then the person says that one was only 20% of that amount. So if you watch, because every government has less from arrears, any further year you go, no matter the amount you receive, when it's calculated as a sum or the accumulation, it sort of drops. That's why Kando said this year, we are going to get 0% in terms of release. To the layman, it means we will not get any money. But by the time we finish the year, out of the 2.5 billion we expect from government, Bernard, the minimum we will receive from our expense is about 2 billion out of the 2.5. But all those monies, or most of it, will be in the name of 2022 NHIS. So Akanda will tell you, this year, Okoboy received 0% of the NHIS for 2023. He's right, because he's looking at the name of the levy, the year. So what I would say, which is a frank comment, is that Bernard, now averagely, health insurance receives 50% of the levy that is collected in the name of the insurance scheme. 50%. I have said it at many places. If we forget the politics, we find ways to increase the releases. If we do even 65, 70%, every disease condition in Ghana can be paid for. The arrears will be minimum 2 months. And other sectors of Ghana can suffer. But when it comes to health, we might match Italy or Germany. That has been my comment. I'm interested in a conversation outside politics. The ways to do it are known. I have told some of my colleagues, if only we'll be bold and let the politics go, this country can do excellent, at least for me, I know, for health, through this scheme.
Right. So a bonus question before you go then. The capping of funds, we know that the capping law was passed in 2017. It was a parliament you were part of, which capped statutory funds like the NHIS. Would you say that it's time to review that law?
Oh, Bernard, because I have been a part of this government. We went to Parliament and we did a case for decapping, removing the cap. Honorable Abina said something that the monies they take from all the statutory funds allows them to pay for some government bills and all that. Without it, they will be in trouble. That's why I said, well, let's have honest conversation. I wish nobody would touch our money. If government over the years, before us and after us, will say they have deficits elsewhere or gaps, they want to fill it. The conversation is that, how do you fill those gaps and leave us alone? That is the conversation we should be having. I am for decapping. But Bernard, I'm a realist. The government, if we don't discuss how to fill those gaps as a country, other governments might come in the distant future. They will tell you the same. There are gaps outstanding. If we do, like I said, we are doing 50% of money collected in the name of the scheme averagely. Even if we can do 65%, we will clear arrears to 2 months. We might be able to pay for dialysis in this country.
There's a final question from a listener. He says, Bernard, please ask the guest. The quality of medication dispensed to us, the NHIS cardholders, is substandard medication because they do not pay the facilities on time. Meanwhile, if I pay out of pocket, I get the best medication. Is this something you can comment on?
But again, these are the biases that I pray that people will get themselves out of. All physicians or medical staff, we have some ethics and standards. Look, I know a friend who called me and said, Doc, I have a headache, but I have paracetamol. And a friend has told me once the paracetamol came from a government hospital, it's not proper. And I told the person, paracetamol was developed many years ago. There is no way it will be substandard as if there's a better one. The fellow, when he had no option, took the paracetamol, was fine the next day. This talk of health insurance drugs being cheap, others being not. Bernard, we have third-generation drugs, second-generation drugs, and third-generation drugs in medicine. A third or fourth-generation drug, most of the time, is expensive, recently developed. It doesn't mean if a private hospital will write ceftriaxone, which is a third or fourth-generation antibiotics, and you are giving IV amoxicillin in LECMA, you will die because you had amoxicillin, which is a third-generation antibiotic. In fact, over the years, we've realized that there are some conditions, the older the medicine, the better. So this talk of they give you old medicine and all that, it is all, forgive me, talk that happens by the wayside, people here and all that. We should get ourselves out of those and let's experience our hospitals. The best of doctors and nurses and health staff are in Ghana's hospitals. And that is why I don't go, forgive me, it's without prejudice to private. But most of the time, I enter government hospitals when I am not well.
We'll leave it here for you to go and attend to other things. But thank you for talking for talking to us. Sky wants to say,
bro, but bro, why are you excluding me from attending the meeting? I think this is not fair, my brother. you are making the team father side, mother side. You don't want me to attend the meeting because I went to 3 towns and you went to Presec. I mean, seriously.
He didn't say that.
If you come with a Presec, you don't need an ID card.
Okoboy, thank you. Bernard Okoboy is the former MP for. I wanted to even ask him about politics, but you let me leave it. He's now the NHIS CEO. Charlie, this, but you told me that if I continue with my lack of who you know, I will go hungry. Now you are sitting you advise me that sometimes this who you know thing. He doesn't know you, can't trust you. He doesn't trust you. Yeah, Charlie, that was Bernard Okoboy. So always good talking to him. It's 8:44. There's so many comments on the NHIS. I think let's summarize what I've heard from him. And this is something we have to verify. He says that so first thing, he said our survey is very close to the reality. That our 17 million people are registered on the scheme. And if you look at our numbers, about 50% of the people said they had the card. So it's correct. Then he says, Accra and Kumasi, people don't really use the card. But it says in the other 13 regions, he even went on to say about 80% of the people who go to facilities outside Accra and Kumasi use the scheme, which is a bit interesting because 80%, the population is Accra and Kumasi, half of the country. Because you see, because if you look at it, if you're saying that 17 million people own the card, that's half of the population. And you're saying that in the regions, 80% of hospital visits are with the card. That's a very serious claim to make.
So we'll look into it.
Yes, and then he also says that there are people who have bastardized the card, but the scheme is working because in the rural areas particularly, there are lots of people who go and the card works for them.
That's good.
And then he's having a meeting today with all heads of teaching hospitals and Ghana Health Service directors to review how the hospitals are managing the card. Maybe if they discriminate against card users or whatever, they will deal with those matters. He says we are invited. Maybe Vivian should send a reporter to go and cover the story.
Wouldn't buy if you go there in person.
No, but I have so many things. I have a program.
That's okay. We'll cover it. You go.
You know, I don't choose programs arbitrarily like that. But we have a strong reporter who will go if he will not be sacked. You know, or editorially we have to cover the NHIS. But he says the scheme. But the thing I like though about what he did was when we spoke about the man. You see, Akando had said a lot of things about the
releases,
and he didn't really say he was wrong. He was just trying to technically explain what was going on. You know, and I think it's positive that look, what Akando has been saying is actually true, but he puts a different interpretation to it. He talks about the fact that there's arrears, so you will not necessarily get this year's money this year.
Legacy debt.
And the second point, he also says that the capping, as an institution, he would like it to be removed. But as a country and a government, the finance ministry thinks that there are so many other things that money needs to be used for. So it's a debate we all have to have. Education people also don't like the capping. The disassembly people don't like the capping. The health insurance don't like the capping. So the capping is a big, big topic. And I'm very sure in the next parliament, it will be discussed. You know, but with most things, this is what I see, government finally on this one. They will oppose it in opposition, but if they even come to power, it will serve their interest, they'll keep it. Because capping gives the finance ministry a lot of space. So if whoever becomes finance minister and whoever wins the election, I'm sure they'll say, this capping thing
is a good thing.
It's sweet. Let's keep it. You know. Anyway, so those were the comments. Nathan, just read 5 quick comments on the health insurance card. Then I'll let Godfred give me his quick review of the controversial book. Yeah. A quick review of the controversial book. Which the two of you, I have not read the book. You know, I was doing editorial yesterday, so I didn't have time to read the book. But you have read it. It's your busy schedule.
Okay, all right. This one says, I have it. I always renew it, but I've never used it. Victor in Georgia.
Joe. It's my brother. Talk to me. You don't do that.
This one
my brother. I shouldn't do that.
People have...
The government hospital is a very big... It's one of the... You know, the government hospital in my hometown is one of the best facilities in that whole enclave. You know that?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a very big hospital.
Yeah.
For people in the Akachi South District, Akachi North, even in your constituency.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's a government hospital is big.
District Hospital.
No, but ours is better.
It's
bigger.
St. Anthony's Hospital.
Solid hospital. Do you have a hospital in your hometown?
No, it's under construction.
Look at that. Read the
comments. This is true. Yeah. This one says people have hospital cards instead of NHIS. Jones Adobo in La says my mom is diabetic. Almost all the time she goes to the hospital, I'll have to send her money for her bills. He says NHIS.
Oh, don't say that. It depends on whether it's covered or not. This is what he's saying. That you see, what do you benefit from just saying such a thing? Have you checked whether the type of diabetes he has is covered? You know, we owe it to ourselves to do the right thing. Let's not make NHIS. Look, MPP said it plenty. Now they are suffering. They use it as a campaign message. What has it benefited? So let's not make it like when you don't like a government, everything about the government is bad. That's not how you build a country. Do you understand? Is he our best example? So because he said I should also do it. Okay, so somebody went to slap his wife. He should go and slap his wife. What kind of? He
said that.
Yeah, so he said it. So you also say it.
But he's in charge now.
So what?
It's fair.
So because
fair comment.
Is it everything that people do that you also do?
No, I think it's fair comment from him.
Some people mispractice their law. You also going to mispractice your law? Yes. So you shouldn't do that.
Anyway, it's just. I think it's a fair comment. The guy is entitled to say what he believes.
Okay. Anyway. But we read it. He said it. But I would have a right to say I don't agree with him.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
So you should go ahead. All right. So, Nathan, please finish your work.
All right. This one says the card is not a waste. It will reduce your medical bill by at least up to 40%, depending on the care you received. All right. This one says I have the NHIS and I use it regularly because of my BP and sugar-related conditions. Mm-hmm. This one says, anytime my wife wants to visit a gynae, she has to pay 50% as consultation fee at the general hospital. So in a week, just imagine. And we are asked to pay our GCB. The NHIS can't cover that.
No, NHIS covers maternity. So she's going to deliver. Mm-hmm. And I think antenatal or something. So there are aspects of, if the pregnancy runs its length and you get to delivery, NHIS will be useful. So the person shouldn't lose hope. It may not cover prenatal, but it does cover certain aspects of that. So she should check.
Okay. All right. This one says capping of statutory funds is hurting the NHIS. The NHIS has to be excluded from this. You can contribute to the levy.
Yeah.
And the NHI won't receive
It's a
it.
big topic, but the NHIS boss is limited in how he can. And that's the other point, right? So in Ghana, policy is about big men. So how much can you push your own sector?
Yeah.
Because if cabinet is discussing capping, and the finance ministry says we want to cap, and they give the reasons, unless Get Fund, NHIS, DACF, and all those guys come together and make a strong case, they will be voted during that meeting. They may not even get to go to cabinet.
Yeah, but I think it behooves Parliament to actually recognize the harm that is doing to the scheme and align with the view taken by the chief executive and remove the cap. Because really, is it hurting the scheme? If it is, you are affecting negatively the health of many Ghanaians. So intervene and remove whatever the problem is. I think that is what Parliament should be doing.
Yeah.
Because if they don't do that, then they are not protecting the health of Ghanaians.
Yeah, so the health minister, the local government minister, the
Finance
education minister, I think if in this capping conversation, the three biggest ones are Get Fund, NHIS, and then DACF. DACF is under local government, I think. I'm not sure. But NHIS is under health minister, technically. Get Fund is under, and education and health are big ministries.
Yeah.
Right, so they should be able to make some inroads there.
Okay, all right. This one says, Bernard, please make a suggestion for insurance to cover glasses, at least the lens prescription. All right. Can we ask Dr. Okobo if they have a system to register Ghanaians in the diaspora?
Huh.
And the person is asking whether UGMC is public. If it is, why don't they accept the NHIS?
He's meeting the heads of public teaching hospitals today, which will include the UGMC.
Somebody was suggesting that the Tamale Hospital, teaching hospital, is struggling and is on its knees, and so many things are happening that shouldn't be happening. We should
hopefully the chief executive of the Tamale Teaching Hospital and the UGMC will be in the meeting, and we will see whether they can resolve the matter of the card being accepted or not.
All right, Bernard, having the NHIS card and not using it means one thing: we have it, but don't even present it when we go and seek healthcare. Most of the things it covers are not available, so we have to pay cash for everything. So we end up not presenting it. Even at most chips compounds, they do not even have paracetamol. You have to buy everything. Because of non-payments, pharmacies don't receive it. What is worse is the government capping. In 2021, the government collected 2 billion but paid only 120 million to the NHI. It says Okobo is only talking politics. You present it, but you pay for almost everything.
We'll leave it here. Let's jump straight into our next subject. Before that, if you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community with vibrant campus life and 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless opportunities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently underway for our October 2023 intake. Apply now for our foundational and undergraduate programs. Call us on 0302-218-989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Standard Water is here with some great offers in sachet, bottled, dispenser-mounted jar, and customized water available to be bought from supermarkets, retail shops, and from our sales delivery trucks. Call 0202-055-703 if you want to be a distributor. 0202-055-703. Standard Water, this advert is approved by the FDA. When was the last time you heard about 10% interest rate, collateral-free loan, and 1 million CDs in the same sentence? Well, if you've heard it now. If you're a female entrepreneur, young business owner, or into agribusiness or fintech, we've got great news for you. In collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation, ABSA is offering SME loans at only 10% per annum to help you move your business to the next level. Get a collateral-free loan of up to 1 million CDs from ABSA now to grow your business. Go online to absa.com.ga to find out more. That's Africana City. That's ABSA. All right, so those of you who watched my editorial yesterday would have noticed that during the editorial, I had a logo on the screen called Finex Skills. So these are people who help to make sense of data. And it's really a data analytics revolution that we're seeing, which hopefully we are trying to bring into journalism as well. Finance Skills Hub will empower your team to work smart, save time, and deliver insights from data using the world's most powerful business tools like Microsoft Excel and Power BI. Now, Finance Skills Hub offers hands-on practical training to corporate and individuals in Excel for work, data analytics, and financial modeling to help you improve productivity in the office. Go to finexskillshub.com or call 0244 782 356. That's 0244 782 356. Sign up for our corporate and individual training sections at Finex Skills Hub. Learn, connect, and grow. All right, opening Akoto. opening Akoto. One day they'll call you that.
Okay.
You don't know one day you become an old man.
No, certainly.
You have to prepare for it. Opening Kojo Chere was once a young man. Opening Kojo Chere. Anyway, so what is the fuss about? Just educate me here. You know, yesterday, the whole day, I was working on an editorial, so I didn't really have the time to. I wasn't even sure what's happening on social media. So that's why this morning I even read the wrong story. Honestly, I haven't been following.
Yeah, I kind of caught up with it later because yesterday I was had a very busy morning. I realized I was not on the show after the newspaper review. I was chasing something.
Yeah. So what is it? What's going on?
So
what is going on?
So Yvonne Nelson released a book called I Am Not Yvonne Nelson.
On Saturday?
Yes, it was on Sunday actually.
Okay.
Yes, and the details of it hit the market yesterday. And overall, I would say it's a really, really well written. I read it. It's a really well written book. Talks about the search for herself, her identity. You know,
the search for who she is.
Who she is, the ups and downs in her career, where she talks about how she's had to navigate certain difficulties, her highs and lows. You know, so overall, it was for me a very stimulating read.
How many pages?
It's about 160 or so.
So it's not that big.
No, it's not.
So it's not like a comprehensive everything kind of autobiography. Where
No, it is. She talks about
so primary school, childhood.
Yeah, there are portions I could relate to actually because there are names she mentions that I know. For instance, the person whose question spawned everything, BB Grant, was my class 4 teacher.
Why did she also go to Martin?
Yeah, she went to Martin. She was 3 years my junior.
Oh, so you're on than so many people.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So BB Grant is anybody who went to Martin de Porres for the past 25 years.
What teacher? What class was he teaching? Class 4.
He would primary school. He's taught a
solid man.
Yes, solid man. I mean, he would basically be your favorite teacher if you went to Martin de Porres in the last 25 years.
I met a man recently called Mr. Last.
Yes, he is the son of Mrs. Last.
Okay.
But BB Grant has been here when Martin de Porres contested the
literacy challenge.
No. The in-house quiz, Philip.
Best brain.
The best brain.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he brought the team.
So you could relate to that.
I could relate to him, and because of the kind of questions that.
But did you know when you were at the Porres?
No, I did not.
Just 3 years behind.
Yes, I did not.
Was it such a big school?
No, but everybody stayed in there. Primary school was that side. GHS was on a different side, so we didn't really.
So it was about childhood.
It was her childhood.
Acting.
That came later. In secondary school, where she discovered herself
Which
more,
secondary school did she go to?
Agri Memorial. And it's interesting because that particular experience, as she explained it, is something that a lot of people would share. She did not want to go to Agri Memorial. She had seen herself attending a GH or one of the bigger schools. Her grades didn't help her. She ended up there. But it is there that
she discovered
her
talent,
that she could do a lot of other things. And then she also spoke about not enjoying secondary school that much because of the poor food.
Charlie?
These are experiences that most of us relate to. And the fact that her mother used to give her a lot of food in her chop box, and so she was never out of food anyway. Yes. But the dining hall chode there, it was some way.
We have to talk about that thing.
And it hasn't changed.
It's probably gone worse.
It hasn't changed.
We are defeating a whole generation.
Then she talks about her entry into the entertainment industry, people who helped her. And it's very interesting in the sense that it's kind of like reminds me of Ahoy's working with Rollins.
In a way.
Where, Ahoy was very specific with moments, dates, personalities, things that happened on certain dates. I recall when you interviewed him here on that. And if you read I Am Not Yvonne Nelson, you get that sense. She talks about movie producers, she talks about specific events, who was there when it happened, who said what, and what those instances meant to her. And I think it gives also an insight into celebrity lifestyle, the workings of our film industry, because it's something a lot of people see from afar.
So does she give us like the details of how you
get selected for a film.
Yeah, those kinds of
you
things.
know, how you can get blacklisted.
You should talk about who the best movie director she's worked with has been, or that kind of thing. You know, in those books, like this guy's the best director, the best producer, the best.
She spoke about people who influenced her
positively,
both positively and negatively.
So first, let me do the positive. Which of the people do you? Okay, of course you can't. I have to get the book.
Yes, I have to get the book.
So it was more like it wasn't to just talk about those who did bad to her. It's also about talk about those who did good.
Names came up and then certain situations that she found herself.
So when you read the book, who are her friends? Can you find out who somebody she respects, who's her friend?
Well, she had personal friends growing up. So, for instance, the person who helped her during the pregnancy period.
This original pregnancy that was later.
Yes, the pregnancy, the one that is on the front page of all the papers. You know, somebody helped her with the test. The person she discussed it with is somebody you would consider her a very good friend because the person was there at that time.
And this was when
John Dumelo's name comes up in. Yes.
So John Dumelo is a friend.
It's a friend
that she respects.
Yes, at the time, Fred Nyama's name comes up. You know, Majid Michel is mentioned.
Is it Fred Nyama?
Contesting John Dumelo.
Are you kidding?
Yes, Majid Michel's name comes up very strongly,
positively
as well as being a very good support. And I found something interesting in talking about the pregnancy, though, and not the salacious part, but the fact that it happened at a time when she was in school. She was at the university.
Where?
Central.
Okay.
Facing rewrites.
My God.
Having to work as well because she was filming.
Schooling.
Yes, and then the pregnancy came, which is where she spoke about the fact that she was not ready for it.
All of that
at the same time, trying to manage those things as a 25-year-old. The pressures of that did not sit down well with her.
Wow.
You know, and it's a really, really interesting read. Then the whole Dumso Vigil and the process that came after.
197 page book, that's a lot.
No, I'm saying it's very well written.
Because it means to capture all of that in just less than 200 pages. Which means
the writing was very the storytelling is very compelling.
Made you good use of words.
Yes, it's very whoever helped her with it.
But you know,
very compelling.
She's an actor, so obviously in the arts they know how to communicate.
Yes.
So there will always be good people who help or who write the book.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That the storytelling is very.
Has she directed her own movies?
Yes, she has her own production house. She has her own production house.
Did she talk about that?
Yes,
the movie industry, the money issues.
She talks about everything. That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate that the book has become noted for, just one side, which is fine because there are certain elements of the entertainment industry or the news industry that would carry that. But overall, as a memoir, it's a solid book.
There's much more to the book than an abortion and a search for a father.
No, it is ultimately about
the search for the father.
The search for her father and herself. Which is why the book is titled "I Am Not Yvonne Nelson." It's not just a reference to the name.
So the title is actually true.
Yes, I am not Yvonne Nelson. It's about a search for herself. It's about it's really like a very bare-boned narrative about her life, which I'm surprised she did. Because I'll tell you something though.
Yeah.
I don't know her personally. Reading the book this dawn changed my perspective about her in a lot of ways. I used to think she was a bit light. I'm just saying
because you hadn't experienced
I didn't experience her
in that sense.
Yes, I used to consider her a bit light, attention seeking. But reading the book and coming to understand some of the things behind who she is and some of the decisions that have been made and some of the things that I misunderstood then.
Respect has come.
Yes, I have some level of respect for her.
Yeah.
All in all, like I said, we need more of those. So
Which
we
is
have
why
working with Rawlings.
I think that's great.
We have I Am Not Yvonne Nelson, our own Amwa Bing. And I'm happy you mentioned that because you recall I spoke to you about, I was not very happy with that. And you were like, you are happy because we need people to write about their wins and their losses.
Yes.
And he wrote about his losses.
I think for me, that makes Amwa Bing stand out because a lot of people will just tell you what went right.
Yes.
Amwa Bing he owned everything.
Yeah, which is what kind of this is.
Yeah,
and also sets us apart from most of those we've seen because most people try to be safe.
She was not.
No.
But now to
it comes to conflict and controversy.
Now to the Sky point about a narrative which could injure someone's reputation. I don't know what the word is slander. I don't know what the right technical word.
Well, there could be invasion of privacy. There could be defamation.
Yes. So I don't know whether our system. I don't think in Ghana anybody has made a lawsuit about a book yet. But one of the reasons some of my friends in Nigeria tell me one of the reasons Ghanaians you don't like writing is that you are like he claims we are a bit hypocritical. So we know what's going on, but we don't want to say it. So Ghanaians, and you notice a lot of Ghanaian big politicians, they go to their grave with a lot of the secrets. Not many of them actually write candid, tell it all books. Again, in the culture you've gone to in the UK, a journalist of your caliber's autobiography will be making millions. People like Doa Jaho Babin, they will have books written and people would really, but apart from the academics like Michael Kui and a few others, there isn't a lot of writing because somehow there's a certain respect for secrets. Do you get me? So anytime somebody writes a book like the Ahoy book, it becomes controversial. I mean, look at how the NDC rose against Ahoy for daring to even talk about working with one. And meanwhile, for you and I, as political journalists, we're like, this is amazing. I don't know if you read the book. That book and this guy's book, Obeda Samuel's book, are like
they are
very important because for us who covered those periods and who are sort of became, do you get me? They give you,
they fill in the gaps.
Or DK Osei's book. If you are a young journalist and you pick GT, so it helps. Book. So I just wanted your view on the issue of writing, which, and I'm using the Ahoys and the, because Obed too dealt with some serious issues. He even dealt with the issues around the Volta region, the naming, all those. He gave all historical accounts. And this is a guy who was a foreign minister and an AG. So my question to you is, what's the balance between your responsibility as a public servant who believes that the next generation must know? So you're going to give them a good account, or like an Ahoy, right? And then the issue of somebody's ox will be goaded, somebody will feel maligned, somebody like in the Obed in the Ahoy case, a lot of people like they should even sue him. He's saying some things about Rollins which is not true, and all those things. How do you draw that line? Because you also know in some certain countries you go, people write a lot about a lot of things.
You see, as I said somewhere yesterday, when you're writing, it comes with some dangers. And those dangers you must observe carefully. I think it would be useful to read that because it would answer largely the question that you have asked, Bernard. So what did I write? I said that I said that potential dangers come with the art of writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
While it is undoubtedly tempting to divulge every captivating detail,
Mm-hmm.
it is essential to exercise caution.
Mm-hmm.
Revealing too much can inadvertently lead to the unintended consequence of confessing a crime or injuring a neighbor's image or reputation, thereby provoking prosecution or legal action or both. Achieving a delicate balance between sharing an engaging narrative and respecting legal boundaries is crucial. Emphasizing the need for careful consideration and discretion when traversing the path of storytelling. Let's write more, but let's watch the fine lines.
I think that's great.
Let's buy compelling written materials and read them voraciously.
Mm-hmm.
But please be careful what you say or write by way of commenting on one-sided claims made in books. The long arms of the law often reach far beyond the private walls of the original author or publisher of an offending material. So the point I'm making is that, look, when you are telling a story, right, often it is a one-sided story because you are writing from your viewpoint as to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The other person is not immediately there to respond to what you are putting out.
All right.
That is why in other jurisdictions, when you write, and I'm not assuming that the people who have written in Ghana have not done that. When you write a manuscript, you give it to a lawyer, you give it to a marketer, you give it to somebody who is into publishing. They will all do their reviews, and ultimately, you make a decision as to whether you want to go ahead or not. The lawyer will tell you that, well, I think this material that you have published, you have written this way, can land you into trouble. Is there a way of modifying it so as not to create problems for yourself?
That's if you don't have proof that what you are saying is true.
Okay, let me put it this way. I know that the truth is a defense in law for defamation.
Yeah.
Right? So it comes down to a question of proof.
That's my point.
But the question is, whose proof? Can you prove it? Typical example. In this story, there's a suggestion that somebody was responsible for some pregnancy.
Yeah.
There are stories on the internet that suggest that the person who authored the book broke her virginity in 2017. Now, if you broke your virginity in 2017, the logical question you ask, how do you become, pregnant, or how did you become pregnant?
In
7 years prior.
7 years prior, unless you are Jesus Christ's mother.
You are saying that the book has contradictions.
So you see, it contradicts because per the facts in the public domain, we are told that the author apparently engaged in a Twitter question and answer session. And someone asked a direct question, when did you break your virginity? And the author said that she did so in 2017 on Val's Day.
That's on Twitter.
But you are responding to a question. What I'm saying is, it is a matter on the record. So if on the record you are quoted or you yourself responded to a question, and I'm assuming it's because of what is in the public domain, unless what is in the public domain is not factual.
Yes, sir.
If you responded to a question like that and you said that so the question is, how did you become pregnant 7 years prior? So that's an important question to ask. And then also, it is not just enough to say that a person is pregnant. Yes, you could be pregnant, but the question is, who is responsible? Now, we are told that the material evidence of the fetus has been taken out. If it's been taken out, how do we determine that it was ABCD person who is responsible? I'm just saying that when you are writing a material, always be cautious of these facts. Amber Heard, she wrote an op-ed about, her own challenges, right? And the husband or the former husband or the ex-husband,
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, thought that, look, he was scandalized. He went to court. The results we all know now. I'm not saying that the author of this book has peddled falsehood. I admire the book. I've read it. It's an engaging material. And I see a woman who is devastated in many pieces. And I recognize the role of the author's, mother and some other people in her life. And I appreciated so much the quality of work that has been put out. But I'm just saying that in putting out materials like that, let us be guided by the rights of other people.
Yes, sir.
Because where those are breached, the people reserve the right to.
Charlie Law School or
But Sky, what if in my writing I paid myself to be the bad person, and the other so in my recounting of a said incident, I don't scandalize the other person, but I say that I didn't do my part well. I erred. I faulted. Blah 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 blah.
But there's mitigation.
It's a question of whether the other person comes out bad, because in this particular case, people are talking about somebody was not responsible. He was told this, and the person didn't take responsibility and all of that. So that's a caution we must always take into, because ultimately it comes down to whether a person feels aggrieved, and if he's aggrieved, does the law provide remedy? And then also in other jurisdictions, quickly, Bernard, the rule is that, for instance, if you're a minister, for instance, in the UK, you cannot just get up and say you're writing a book.
You have to go through certain things because it's on some oaths.
It's not
it's not straightforward. We'll come back and take you straight into our segment. As I advertised, Michael Harry Yamson has been talking to us about the retail market. We'll do 2 quick announcements before we go in there.
Yeah, if you are looking for a snack on the go, look no further. M4 Foods is bringing you Webby Baked Crunchy Biscuits. Can be served at corporate events, funerals, parties, and it can be a children's snack both at home and in school. If you want to buy in bulk, contact M4 Limited on 0531 003892 or 0266 83 0003. Old Mutual is 10 years. Join them to celebrate a decade of greatness. They are your great insurance friends, and they've introduced all kinds of innovations. They are the first insurance brand to introduce WhatsApp insurance and an annuity package. Call them on 0501 579 204 or visit their website oldmutual.com.gh. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Vanilla Twist Cupcake, another quality product from Trillium Industries. McBerry, the original.
This advert is FDA approved.
I am Florence Japon, owner of Flora Ama Enterprise. We deal in industrial chemicals for making soaps, shower gel, hair conditions, and skin products. I bank with AFSA. My relationship manager introduced me to the AFSA Young African Works program, and I attended the training program. During the program, I got a new idea, which helped me develop a new product called Organics. I also secured a loan from them to introduce the new product and grow my business. My fellow entrepreneurs, I encourage you to open an AFSA account. Enjoy the AFSA Young African Works program. It will take your business to the next level.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo all-in-one for you. It's so milky, eh? I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids all-in-one. It's truly milky and rich in calcium. Milo, energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
Jimmy D, there's no need to stand in line to get your money. Don't waste your time waiting for the bank to be open. With ZPay Mobile Money, you can redeem your MoneyGram Cash Pickup token directly into your ZPay Mobile Money wallet. And now, every first-time user gets 10 Ghana cedis plus airtime as a welcome bonus. Access your money whenever, wherever. Just dial *270# and select option 7 for MoneyGram. Jimmy D, boundless possibilities. Terms and conditions apply.
The decision-making power of owners of a family business is profound. Therefore, the need for family business governance as a key strategy for continuity. Ravens Consulting GH presents Africa Family Business Summit 2023 with the theme Family Business Governance, a key strategy for continuity. The date is on 29th and 30th June 2023. Speakers for this year's summit includes Mrs. Audrey Jo Ezibo, Professor Martin Rowe, and many other speakers. Then your convener, Dr. Dennis Oteng. Venue, Kimpesi Gold Coast City Hotel, Accra, Ghana. Time, 3 p.m. for day 1 and 8 a.m. for day 2. To register, call 0202-712-647 or visit our website www.ravens-consulting.com/AFBS/ It's Africa Family Business Summit 2023. Partners, SEPS Africa, Randem, IOD Ghana. Order events, sponsors, La Bianca, GDC, Henley and Partners, Legacy Institute of Family Business, KED Wealth. This event is powered by Ravens Consulting GH.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244-308-111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Welcome to another edition of the Citi Business Festival. On air series this week is focused on consumer and retail markets. My guest is the lead consultant for Ishmael Yamson and Associates, Michael Harry Yamson. Great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
I know you did some work in retail. Just give me a brief overview of some of the things you did in that space before you entered full-scale consulting.
Well, my first foray into retail was as a trade marketing manager for Unilever Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
I looked after the foods category. And then I joined the mobile phone business of Mo Ibrahim. in the Holland office. I looked after the consumer business. So that was all the pay-as-you-go business. So that was our full retail billion and a half euro business. That was very exciting. Came back to Ghana and then went into consulting. And since then, worked with a host of different companies. A number of them have been involved in retail, and we've done work for them on channel development. So,
wow,
the consulting side has been more varied, but very exciting.
I'm happy with the fact that you did food, you did telco, and you also did a bit of media. So that then means you deal with the product.
I forgot that.
You deal with the channel,
remembered, yes,
and then the medium of communication.
Exactly.
So it's almost like a 360 in a way.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. Let's talk about the importance of the retail market in a country like Ghana. I asked this because last week I was reading a story on Bloomberg that said they felt like China's growth was